Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is Thursday, June 9th, 2022, and this sports show shall begin now. Yeah. Hope you all are fantastic, and we can't thank you enough for watching along here in the afternoon on the Eastern Standard Time, maybe the morning in Pacific Standard Time, and then all the other time zones. You can do the math from there, but we appreciate you so much. Today's show is huge.
Oh, yeah. Huge.
We got some hockey talk happening in about 17 minutes because the New York Rangers will take on the Tampa Bay Lightning in a 2-2 series back in the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden tonight. Mike Rupp will join us, host of That's Hockey Talk. Works for NHL Network, former Stanley Cup champion.
Okay.
Ian Rapoport will join us in the second hour to talk about the details of this new Cooper Cup deal, Aaron Donald's deal, what's going on with Deshaun Watson, the NFL, things being sold, things not being sold. I guess somebody, allegedly, the owner of the Sixers, Josh Harris or something, it is being reported that he was going to make a $5 billion offer to win the Denver Broncos in this blind auction that had taken place. He didn't think that would be enough to win and was told that wasn't going to be enough to win. Then, boom, Robinson Walton comes in with a $4.65 billion offer, gets the deal. Now, there was details to this as it was being described by Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk that Josh Harris decided that he didn't want to run up the price either with old Robinson Walton because he is going to be in the market for a team in the future. So why set the precedent right now? What we're saying is, are there any teams that are going to be up for sale soon after seeing the $4.65 billion check, cash, two-pocket exchange that happened with the Denver Broncos? We'll ask Ian Rapoport in the second hour at 1:20 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
Then in the third hour, guess what?
What?
First timer on this show.
Whoa. What? First timer. Who?
Don't think I've ever met this person in real life, only on the internet. Alex Caruso.
Wow.
Of the Chicago Bulls, former NBA champion with the Lakers of Texas A&M. He was potentially put into jail.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
Because he had some lingering dope in his travel bag while going through an airport. I believe that is where we became acquaintances. I got a chance to chat with him yesterday on the phone before this. I think we're going to have a great convo with him, and how could we not with what happened last night in despicable Boston, Massachusetts.
Yes.
Oh, and also, fuck Boston, Connor. And at Ty Schmidt here at the Toxic Table. Can't thank you boys enough for being here every single day. Connor, you got dunked on by an 8.5-year-old yesterday named Owen from Connecticut. That went on to make TMZ.
Yeah, this is interesting.
8,000 retweets, the tweet of the video of Owen dunking on you. Such good poise, confidence, and then finding the right time for a misdirection dunk on you after all the years of shit that you have talked on the state of Connecticut.
Yes.
It felt like he was speaking for a lot of people in the world. You know, embraced and rejoiced seeing you get dunked on like that. You were openly and have commented on the situation of saying, this is what life is like when you live under the rim.
Boom.
Because you take a lot of shots yourself and you're always playing some defense.
That's right. Hey, I'm trying to get my swats, and I always will. You know, if I, shitting on Connecticut, am going to produce more Owens, then you're welcome, Connecticut. Yeah, your whole entire state's kind of changing a little right now, and I can't help but pat myself on the back for doing that.
Congrats, Connor. Thank you.
Thank you, Connor.
Anytime, guys, I don't need your applause. I just need, the governor of Connecticut, maybe the senator to say thank you, because now his state might not suck going forward.
I thought you were potentially going to try to run for governor of Connecticut, man.
No, never. I still
Why
hate
not?
that place. I still absolutely despise it. I always will, always have. But, it's kind of turning around if there are more Owens down there, and hopefully that will continue to be kind of the MO of Connecticut.
Okay, so this leads perfectly into a New England issue that happened last evening.
Sure.
At Ty Schmidt, I know you're going to love this. At Tone Diggs, one half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys can't wait to get your take on this situation last night.
Scumbags. Go ahead, sorry.
the people in TD Garden last night. Okay. You know, the New England fan base, known to be, you know, a very gentle and welcoming fan base.
Absolutely.
Known to be not very into the sports at all.
Well,
not very passionate.
No.
You know, more like laissez-faire. So what happened last night at TD Garden came as a surprise to all of us.
All of us, yeah.
I was surprised to hear about this.
Yeah.
As I was watching the game in Boston, Massachusetts, filled with mass holes and New England humans, I couldn't believe my ears.
No.
Fuck you, Draymond.
What was that about?
Fuck you to other people.
not cool.
There was kids in the crowd. Klay Thompson had to address it after his best game of the finals. He fucking said, "Oh, way to go, Boston!
Yeah.
Real classy with kids in the stands." Draymond Green's wife said, "My kids were there." In Boston screaming "fuck you" to their dad,
Calling him a bitch?
calling a bitch.
Ugh.
Jesus.
Do you have anything to say for the despicable actions of those that were in the Garden last night supporting your Boston Celtics, that you're hanging a flag right in front of the desk, right in front of you? You want to be associated with that despicable, disgusting, rude, obnoxious fan base that normally is never like that at all.
No.
What are your thoughts on maybe this big heel change for the Boston Celtics and Boston fans in general?
Yeah, I think it'll go down as one of the greatest performances by Boston fans in the history of the fanhood. I think right below that is probably cheering for Tom Brady and then booing the shit out of him as soon as he walked out when the clock started and the game begun. I mean, what do you want? Okay, it's the NBA Finals. We're not in some fucking regular season game where nothing's going on. Draymond tried to pull Jaylen Brown's pants down. You think kids want to see some grown man's ass?
Hey, Golden State would never do that. I've seen
No, they
that
wouldn't.
2 or 3 different posts. They would never do that.
That's the difference. That's the difference. Sorry. Boston's just full of dogs. And unfortunately, feels like Golden State's not. Dogs, no dogs. You choose, I choose dogs.
Too many cats out here.
Exactly. Yeah, shooting the ball. It's not a pretty game.
We
okay?
need more dogs.
Right.
Who's that? Coastal
Coastal
Carolina?
Yeah, Coast Carolina head coach.
Sorry, that got completely off track there.
Seriously.
That's the environment, by the way. And I'm not Klay Thompson or Draymond Green, who you would assume would love that type of stuff, but who knows? Or any of those guys. I love that shit.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people that love that shit. So I think immediately, and those people, by the way, I think the people that love that shit feel as if they love sports and competition more than everybody else. Absolutely. And I don't know if that's the accurate depiction. I'm just letting you know how us who act in the manner that the Boston fans acted last night and would act and feel very comfortable acting, feel as if they love their teams more than you love their teams. It's almost part of the DNA. It's hey, the Celtics, and especially with how old that team is and how old that region is, I think the backlash and the openly talking about it by players that have to go play another game there on Friday is one of the worst decisions of all time. Honestly, when it comes to competitive edge, I think a bad one. You just said one of the best performances by the Boston Celtics fans feel as if they are in the game.
Oh, yeah.
They're not the only fan base that does that, by the way.
No.
But whenever you have a fan base like that, makes the team better, makes sports better, makes the entertainment level better, makes everything better. Every team is wishing for that sort. Maybe not with the obscenities, okay? Maybe people are able to do it in a much. I don't know how the Seahawks fans are. I don't think they're swearing. I'm not 100% sure.
A lot of them
but this is the way it fucking goes.
Yes.
And I mean, I just said the F word there. Like in some different places, they are gonna demolish Draymond and Klay on Friday night. And they're going to take pride in it, and they're going to feel as if they are winning the game for the Celtics. I think everybody's trying to get that. I do not – I understand it, I guess, like grandstanding in front of other people's kids that you're swearing in front of and stuff like that. But also, I feel like competitive-wise, that is not a smart move because Boston's going to take that as a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
And it is Friday, NBA. This is a finals, too. This isn't like a championship. A banner is on the line right now. In Friday, there's no reason to gas up Boston people even more. We tried to do less of that every single day.
Yeah.
Bingo. And like when you when you look back, it's like the Kyrie Irving. Like you remember when he was given double birds in the first round of the finals. Like that was one of the better parts of the entire playoff run.
This is exactly what the Celtics fans are trying to do.
Yes.
This is what their intentions are. That's why they're in unison. And you told me this earlier when Jimmy Butler walked off the court. It was like, hey,
standing up.
Hey, fucking good series between you and us, man. Like they feel as if. And I feel like you said that they would do that probably to Steph. Like they probably got respect for Steph Curry, they'd assume. But they are in the game. They are absolutely in that thing. And I don't, okay, maybe less swearing for some people, but we need not get rid of that at all. We need more of that in sports, actually. We need more people coming together around a team that represents their city. We need more people bonding that are probably much different than each other, having that moment in an arena where you're high-fiving a random. And I know it happens in church. May God be with you, and may God be with you, and may God be with you, and may God be with you. But very rarely is there ever a time where people that don't know each other ever come together and celebrate together. We need not get rid of that. Now, Boston people are always going to be that way, though.
Yes.
They have been since the beginning of time, I believe, and will always be that way. Just like with Pittsburgh people, you're going to get this is what you're getting from Pittsburgh people. Baltimore people, same fucking thing. Like Ohio people, same. I mean, it's just like, I don't think we should be trying to get that out of sports at all. I think we should be promoting that. And I like Clay, and I like Draymond, and I love Steph. Didn't hear Steph say anything. But we need not trying to get that out of sports. We need more of that in sports. And an 8.5-year-old said, fuck Boston Connor yesterday. That's from the same region of where that thing was happening. That's just how they speak. Sorry about it.
Well, to your point, like it felt like a finals game. It felt like, actually this does mean something. And I also think it's bullshit. Like those guys, they love that. You feed off that if you're playing in that game. You kidding me? Like there's no, and then after the fact, you can maybe say whatever, but like you start hearing that, like there's no way that isn't like providing and enhancing the moment and everything. It just, I don't know. So, and like you said, like, I mean, for them to say something, it's like, what do you think? They're just going to shut up and not say anything on Friday? Like, it's going to be a bloodbath. It's
just bringing a bunch of muzzles in there? Are they bringing a bunch of muzzles in there? Nobody's
Makes no
talking.
sense.
It is going to be loud on Friday. Guy Fieri's in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Portnoy's in there.
Only good
Hank
guy
put
in
up
the building.
a fucking... All right. Hank put up a goddamn pump fake. By the way, caught the ball brilliantly. Everybody that's sitting around the court there on the wood is hoping a ball comes to them.
Yes.
And they're hoping it doesn't come in the form of a blindside boom explosion. They're hoping it doesn't come at the time where you're maybe drinking or having something. Hank fucking startled a little bit, catches that, seizes the moment immediately, stands directly up, pump fakes, and then hands the ball to Jordan Poole. I mean, like, home run.
Yeah.
Like, Hank has been on quite a fucking heater.
Yeah.
And last night he proved to do it even more so. But yeah, they're only going to get louder on Friday. And I assume there's going to be a couple 4-letter words that are going to be flying around from those fan base.
That's right.
And I know it's in front of kids, but it's also the kids. I think the kids are also chanting that thing up there. And I'm excited to watch, man.
Listen, we come from the same place. I love when fans do this, okay?
Love it.
Love it. I hate when fucking Boston fans do it, okay? We need to stop enabling these Boston scumbags, okay? We've been doing it since the beginning of time. Paul Revere, wasn't him.
Great guy.
Okay?
Fake. Fugazi.
Pilgrims, don't even get me started on the fucking Pilgrims, okay? Boston priests, bad people.
Wow.
Spotlight.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. Detective Sullivan,
Yeah. Bad.
What?
Corrupt guy.
very, very Louis,
Yeah.
CK?
No.
yeah. Boston.
What?
Connor.
Yeah.
The list goes on and on. We got to fucking stop somewhere. We can't enable
right.
this
right.
city.
I can't believe you're right. And if we're just going to
Everywhere else, sure.
if we're just going to let it keep happening, we are the problem.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil has told so many parents, like, you're the reason this person is there. You know what I mean? You're the one enabling it. You're the one enabling it. And you're saying that speech I just gave about, like, loving it and this is how Boston is and it's why we like them. I'm part of the problem, you're saying. Yeah.
We all have been for far too long.
Well,
Thank you. We take a stand on Friday. You guys can't fucking swear.
Don't you dare.
Not in front of kids.
Hey, you don't like his
Paul Revere, fugazi.
No, that's not true.
That's where it
That's
started.
messed up that he
That's
said that.
where it started.
Messed up that he said that because that's real. Okay, I fucking walked Paul Revere's trail. Goddammit, it's called the Freedom Trail, Tony. Why don't you look something up about freedom? Okay, that's what we fucking instill in America. And if you don't want us dancing in the end zone, then don't let us get there. Okay, you don't want us to be in the finals screaming at people in the NBA finals, in the World Series,
Never happened.
shit, in the Stanley Cup, in the
Never been
Super
there.
Bowl.
That ain't
for
never
20
happened. You
years.
guys are in a rebuild. Pasternak coming to Pittsburgh.
You
guys-
wish.
No,
Not
sorry.
happening.
You're in the middle of a good promo. Go on.
Not happening.
No, go
Pasta's
on.
staying. He loves Boston. Krejci's probably coming too. But that's what I'm saying.
Hates it,
Okay,
and he's old. Who cares?
you don't like
Boston's
Boston
coming to Pittsburgh.
screaming and being, the greatest fans in the country, then stop letting us win all these games.
We
Stop winning
tried.
us.
You raised the hoops.
Yes.
Yeah,
thank
raise
you,
the
Nick.
hoops.
Yeah.
Deflate the ball.
Yeah,
Raise
shot
the
in
hoops.
football.
All right.
Oh
All right.
my God.
guys.
That's just all tricks of the trade. If Golden State would have thought of it, they would have. But if they did it too,
You don't think anybody has thought about raising hoops to fuck up people's shots?
I don't think so. Plus, if
What are
they,
you talking about? It was in Hoosiers or whatever.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
right.
from like
If-
the 40s.
If the Warriors did that, their whole entire team would have been crying. They would have needed, unlimited tissues on the side of the bench. So they wouldn't trying to raise the hoops. Boston has the more athletic, bigger team. It only helps us.
Well, yeah, that's what we're saying.
That's
Sorry.
the point.
That's
Sorry.
cheating. Yeah.
Sorry.
Normally, cheating only helps the
It's called,
person.
it's called home court advantage, Pat. Okay? In that game,
If we want to play a 10'2" on one of
Yeah.
them and 10'1" on the other one
Sure.
to get rid of the shooting team, then it definitely affects it.
Oh, yeah.
Let alone warm ups. Steph probably put up 100 shots on this 10'2" thing, and he was brick. He's like, I got to shoot a little bit more, I guess. And then in the game, miss. That's what. This is all things that you guys do, though, that I think leads to Tone's point of, no, you know what? Klay Thompson was right. Real professional, Boston.
Yeah.
Real
classy.
Real classy.
Real classy,
They
Boston.
better go win a game because they need it right now. Down 2-1's not a good hole.
We just did 16 minutes on that, and we covered both sides pretty in depth.
That's why.
I mean,
That's why this show
Go Celtics.
will never win an award. Yeah, I don't know how people are upset about it. It's fucking sports.
Yeah,
dude.
it's the
That's
best
what you're
part.
allowed to do. You're allowed to just accidentally elbow somebody right in the fucking mouth. You're allowed to get into an entire thing like the competition environment. Not that you should now people say, well, where's the line then? Where's the line of what you're allowed to say, what you're allowed to say? I think we all know. Where the line is. I think everybody understands it. And then, if they cross that, I think it becomes a problem, which Boston will. They have in the past for more.
Have been known to.
Boston
Not
will.
so recent history.
Habitual line steppers up there in Boston. But just a fuck somebody in a thing like that happens in every stadium, I think, that I've ever been in. I'm not 100%
that's
sure.
what makes no sense is them acting like they've never fucking heard this before. I don't think Draymond basically said on his show that he, is more so like, hey, my family's here, that my kids are hearing it. But you go, any of these guys who played big time college basketball, the student section fans are 1 billion times worse than the NBA fans. They've heard all
Boston.
this.
Boston's
Yeah, no.
entire arena is standing that entire. It was it's awesome to watch.
You
it.
might-
But I'm just saying, in terms of a fuck you is rolling off your shoulder a lot more than these pricks in college who are really going personal and looking stuff up and that kind of stuff. All those guys have heard a fuck you chant before.
I forget who was telling the story. I forget where I heard it, so I apologize to the show that had this. And if somebody figures it out, that'd be great. I guess Kobe Bryant was just mentioning dates to some guy on the court.
Yeah.
And the guy didn't know what it was, and he looked it up. It was all of his cousins and family members' birthdays. So Kobe was just telling him about his entire family and how much research he's done. The shit talk that happens on the court, I'd assume, is
Next level.
Pretty intense.
pretty intense as well. And I don't know the basketball community and the basketball culture as well as we should be talking like this, because I think that is we'll talk to Alex Caruso 2 hours. I'll ask him because it feels like it is quite the NBA players hate the fans.
Yeah.
Hate them, right? That's become a new thing. How come they're able to do this? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? Is that because they had the without fans years where they were able, it was much more open? Remember, when they were only at 30%, some of these arenas, and teams were scattered out, they had more space to sit down. The sidelines were much more wide open. Guys were kind of able to do whatever they wanted to do in all these arenas. I assume that was very nice for a lot of these guys who have only played in front of thousands and thousands of people right on top of the court. So is it because they got comfortable without him? Is it because this has been something that's always been an issue? Because remember, my immediate thought back is like, oh, Russell Westbrook in Utah. Like, remember that became an entire thing. Russell Westbrook with some other place, and then like Kyrie at some place. But I think Kyrie says he likes it though. Didn't Kyrie say he liked it? I think because he's played up there. I think he said he understands it. Trae Young in New York,
right?
Like I think there is because it's a much more intimate setting. I think there is potentially a player.
It's the only sport where the fans are that close and have that kind of access.
No, nothing.
With no barrier.
No, nothing. Yeah. No pads, no helmet. Like in hockey, we were like a foot and a half away from a player.
Yeah, we can bang on the glass. We can give them the finger and stuff. But
there's a barrier.
Yeah, that's their arena, essentially. In the NBA, like, there's nothing there.
Joining now is a man who will be able to tell me if this is my fault or not. I went to a playoff game. Was it playoff that we went to there and sat on those seats on the ice?
Yeah, Pens Flyers.
Tried to pay the ref.
Yeah.
Oh. He came right to the crack of the glass right in front of me. Tried to have a conversation with him like, hey, we need a power play. You know what I mean? We're down a little bit. We need a power play.
We showed him the money.
Yeah, he showed him $100. I think it was a couple $100 or whatever I pulled out. We had not gone to the casino yet. That's right there and lost all the money. So they're going to take that casino is going to take all your money.
Every time.
Rivers Casino in Pittsburgh is a losing casino, but you have to go in there or you have a losing weekend. You don't want that. You just are tipping the person on the corner, which is the Rivers Casino. You just go in there, you give them 20, 100, 1,000, whatever you want to lose.
Keep me safe.
And then you just go do Pittsburgh, and it's like the Pittsburgh gods like say, you're welcome. You can do this. If you don't, probably a bad weekend. Nonetheless, the ref called a penalty. What was it, Nick? 2 seconds later against the Penguins?
The very next shift. We were trying to get him at the whistle right there at the face-off. Very next shift, called a penalty.
Called a penalty and then looked at me when he called the penalty and then just skated off. I'm like, I don't want to think like me thinking I'm that important that I caused. But now that I'm learning more about the game, that motherfucker might have done that just.
Massive chance.
Join us now, the Stanley Cup champion, who might be able to give us a little clarity on that situation. Ladies and gentlemen, host of That's Hockey Talk and on NHL Network, an absolute stud, Mike Rupp.
Hey, I don't know which referee it was that you spoke to, but did he have a mustache? Was it Bill McCreary? Because he was probably wanted to fucking go you. Remember the old Bill McCreary, Wild Bill? That was with the one that tried to fight me.
Yes!
was it Bill? Did you try to grease the palm of Bill McCreary?
This is what Bill McCreary did to you while you were sitting on the bench, right?
Yeah.
You want to fucking go, Robert?
Yeah.
Ref,
yeah, that's
strikes.
What happens. So, like, you're going out there and you're, like, trying to do your best for the Steel City, and this guy's like, fuck you, I'll fight you right now. Like, that's what he said right there. Man, I didn't hear that story till right now. That's an interesting story, but, yeah, that's probably your fault, if I had to say.
I'm so sorry, Penguins. Yeah. Well, I think we gave up a goal in that.
Won the series,
what was
though,
the
right?
final score?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I never heard that one, though. That's a good one.
Dude, legit.
A good one.
Blows the whistle and stares at me and then just skates away. It was unbelievable. Nick, so pissed. Nick, way to go. Hope you're fucking happy.
Yeah, good gag. Good bit.
Hope you're happy. I wasn't making it a big deal, though. Like, I wasn't, like, showcasing to everybody. Yeah. It was literally just an intimate conversation because he was right in front of us at the time, and there was a little crack. So it wasn't like I was making a show out of it. So he only did it for me. And it's like, oh, my God, am I that important? I fucked the Pens. All right, but let's not talk about the
Billy.
Could you imagine if that was him? I mean, we could probably look back at this thing and get the accurate information on who it was.
You should find it, man.
And if they scored on that power play or not.
I knew what game it was. I could.
I might be -1 on the ice. Might be. Rupper, let's dive into the hockey world right now. Obviously, New York and Tampa are playing tonight back in Madison Square Garden. We'll dive into that. I want to talk about the rumors that are hitting the internet. The Boston Bruins are dead. Pasternak is coming to the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's going to be Gensey, Sidney, and Pasta. Right there is our one line, and we are going to be a Lordo factory for the foreseeable future. What's going on? Is that going to happen? And that's a big deal, right? This is a big off-season conversation then.
If this offseason, if there's not some traction and some grounds being covered with the Boston Bruins and David Pasternak about an extension here, you don't get top end players like that hit the market or are available. If David Pastrnak it's going to set the hockey world on fire. I was talking with Kenny Danico yesterday, and we were hot stoving about some things. I think the Devils would jump all over that. They'd throw the second overall pick in this year's draft, probably throw together a nice little young player too. Some pieces. Teams will do whatever. Pittsburgh, everybody's going to try to get David Pastrnak. So it'll be interesting the way this goes. This last week's been tough. It's been tough for Boston Connor. Not gonna lie. It's good to see. Good to see what happened yesterday. It was kind of neat, but as far as Bruce Cassidy, maybe this is them trying to salvage it. So here's the thing that we just heard and we just saw a little bit ago. Don Sweeney, the Boston Bruins GM, had his meeting season's end 2 weeks ago with Bruce Cassidy. And Bruce Cassidy is coming out and saying, he told me my job is safe. Okay. 2 weeks later, he gets canned. So
Boston
I don't
way.
know. And this is just completely reading between the lines. And you've been through that, Pat, and I would assume that football is the same thing. We have our exit meetings as players with coaches, with the GM, and something happened there, right? So maybe this is all right, we don't know if Bergeron's coming back. Maybe that had something to do with making a coaching change. But then also, if David Pastrnak isn't going to be talking extension with us, we got to figure this shit out. So I don't know. And I'm not trying to say that Bruce Cassidy's the problem. Maybe it's just the end of the road as far as a coach's influence on his group. But I think they're trying to salvage something here. It's going to be tough sledding for this Bruins team the first half of the season.
I didn't want to do this ever again. Numerous times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Moment of silence for the Boston Bruins while they go into a full rebuild and probable irrelevancy. They had Patrice Bergeron. Mm-hmm. He's gone.
Patrice.
They had Brad Marchand.
Boil up that pasta.
He went into the end of season meeting with the coach and said, I hate you, buddy.
Don't forget about the surgery.
Real quick, Brad.
Out 6 months.
And then Pasta came in and they said, why aren't you talking extension with us? He said, I fucking hate that coach. Mm-hmm. And then just a couple weeks later, they fired the coach. And then Pasta said, I hate the GM too. Now he's a Penguin. So is Patrice. And when Marchand got healthy, he took the train down to Pittsburgh as well.
Forget about what they did to Chara, too.
They kicked Chara out, sent him to Washington.
No.
And Timmy Thomas.
And then how about the goalie? It just quit, right?
Yeah.
Tuca just quit.
Long history of pushing guys out the door.
God, it was a good run. We're still, you know what? Respect him.
Oh, sorry, man. I thought we were done. There's a lot of layers to this. I wasn't patient enough. Sorry.
So he's staying.
Moment passed. Wow. I didn't know we were going to do that.
I messed that up.
I know.
That was my first one. So I apologize if I interrupted.
My first one. We do too many of them. That's what we've learned doing a daily show. There's too many moments.
I know.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive
But
into
let me say this though with Bruce Cassidy. He is a good coach, great coach. His numbers are incredible. Nick, you went over some of those numbers on That's Hockey Talk last night when you're talking about winning percentage and the stuff that he's done. He'll get hired again. This is not to say this guy's a POS. It's not to say this guy stinks. He's going to get hired, dude. He's a good coach. You get to the point where if you can't squeeze the group, you can't squeeze the group anymore, and it's time to move on. I think that's what's happening.
Happens in a lot of different places and a lot of different sports. You just your juice runs out. Your stories run out. Your motivation runs out. The player in the bigger contract outlives it, and it's time to just go somewhere else. By POS, I think you meant the POS machine, which John Taffer introduced to the world.
That's right.
It was the thing that kept track of all the bottles and
Point
who
of
was
sale.
stealing.
Point of sale.
Yeah, because all the bartenders are fucking stealing from the owner.
That's right.
Happened with Disco Dahn, too.
Real problem.
Yeah, in Pittsburgh. It absolutely did. You're 100% right. Anyways, good luck to the Bruins. Let's talk about tonight, Rupper. What should we be betting on? Did Tampa get their swagger back? Are the Rangers too tired? I think I heard on the game, and the broadcasts have been great, by the way, but I think on the game I heard that the Rangers hadn't had more than 1 day off since May 3rd. And then Tampa had a week or something off because they swept. A couple of them, 2 sweeps there. Whenever you think about the exhaustion level that the Rangers have to be at, and the Tampa Bay Lightning may be getting past that rust period of having a week off or whatever it was. Is Tampa just going to go on and motorboat the Rangers right out of this thing, or is it going to continue to be kind of home ice advantage?
I have no idea which way this is going to go because we've seen a Ranger team in the first 2 games that looked a certain way, and we saw a Tampa team that looked completely different from games 1 and 2 to games 3 and 4. So I have no idea. But if I had to say who I think has the edge here moving forward, I would say it's Tampa because of their experience, their game management, their veteran leadership. They just find ways, and quite frankly, the last 2 games, man, they look like defending Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah.
And so I think they've started to really grab a hold of this thing. And the big thing also is the gut shot of the lineup here for the Rangers. They've got Barclay Goodrow. They've got Ryan Strome, a.k.a. Doug. They got Filipino, who these guys are banged up. So, Filipino's part of that kid line with Alexis Lafreniere and Capo Caco. And he's their center. So if they're without their number 2 center and Ryan Strome, who didn't play last game, if they're potentially without or at a weakened number 3 center and Filipino, who that line has been huge for this team, I don't think it looks great for them. I don't think it looks great. But, hey, this team's been dominant at home. Once they start playing Bubba O'Reilly at MSG, the place goes bananas. That's like the Renegade in Pittsburgh. It does the same kind of thing.
What's it sound like, Rupper? Let me hear. What's it sound like? I don't think I know what it sounds like. What's it sound like?
Jesus.
Out here in the field.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
You got to get the instrumental part, though. That's the key. Come on, someone help me with the. How's the instrumental part go?
I don't know if that's Oh, yeah.
Drum solo after that.
Yeah. And then as I. Whoa!
Wow,
Rupper!
Rupper, what are you? Are you part of Fifth Harmony or whatever, dude?
Sometimes, man. Sometimes. But, hey, so MSG's been a place of brilliance for the Rangers. They're going to have to find it here. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough sledding because this Tampa team, they had that sweep over the Florida Panthers. They had that time off. They started off the series not so good. They found themselves again. And now Andre Vasilevsky's sitting there. And this is the one thing that drove me nuts. And this is the thing. I got into it with Ranger fans because you remember at the end of the season, Igor doing this to the Pens, right? We thought that was going to come back and bite Igor. It almost did. Didn't end up happening. So through the first 2 games at MSG, because you got Andre Vasilevsky, who's the goaltender in Tampa, best goaltender in the world. Igor, number 2 at the other end. MSG fans, Ranger fans start yelling, Igor's better. I'm like, whoa.
Not a good idea.
Don't do that here. Like, this guy Vasi might be the best goalie to ever play the game. Don't give him any more ammunition. And this guy's found his game. So, I don't know. Hopefully at MSG tonight, they lay off those cheers. Just let the boys do their thing. We don't need any more shit on our plate. We don't need you guys to make that guy pissed off and absolutely stone us. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, just sit your khakis down and shut the fuck up. Okay? All right? Just do that at MSG. I cannot believe you compared whatever song that was to Oh, mama, let me be from my life from the long arm of the law. Hell yeah.
Is that good?
That's the first time I ever heard. Hey, you can.
Hold on. I lost you there. Did you guys pick that up or no?
Yeah!
I tried to time it for you.
I thought those were
first time
fake.
The drum set's been used on the show, so it's hey, that is the one thing, and you guys know because I'm always running my mouth about the Browns. I went to many Steeler games there when I was playing for the Penguins. That is one of the coolest moments I see in sports when that shit starts coming across at Heinz Field. I tell you, like, it gets the juices flowing.
And then the highlights of people just getting the old rules of the NFL basically hits are just running. The You Got Jacked Up segment is running. CTE City is running on the Jumbotron while it's going, and everybody in Pittsburgh's already boozed up. It's going into the end of the game. Oh, yeah. And then you got TJ. Yeah. TJ is bought into it completely. Like when the players buy into it too, it's a big deal. Cam and TJ and the boys that are out there, they start fucking. I mean, it's electrifying.
we were in the playoffs for the Penguins, and we didn't know it was going to happen, and they brought it out a game in the playoffs, and I'll tell you what, like it was fucking cool. Like it was sick. I don't think it's something you can overly use if you're the Penguins because you can't no. That's the Steelers thing. Like once in a while you can grab it like in huge moments, but it's big, man. That's one of the coolest little rally cries I think in sports.
I don't go to enough Pens games. Do they drop it in there every once in a while, like massive moment? That would be fucking electrifying too.
They have.
Oh, fucking like 2 minutes left.
Yeah, you see a lot of towels going.
Pens play the party song after goals, though.
Hey, you know who's got a really good record
what's
though?
his face?
Hey, you guys can help me out here.
Andrew
Who's
WK.
who's the New York Giants head coach?
Dabble.
Huh?
Dayball.
Brian Dable.
Okay, so this dude has been at every Ranger win.
Oh yes,
playoffs.
I've seen it. He just got hired. He just got hired, Rupper. This is a good idea.
Yeah, so they bring them. So they play the. How's the tune go? The NFL. They do that at MSG every time they have a lot of times it was Justin Tuck. They have some former Giants and different guys that are coming through. So they play that so everybody knows that someone's coming up, and they put that dude on, and he kind of looks like he kind of looks like.
Go on, Rupper. What do you?
I mean, he kind of looks like me, or he kind of looks like dude.
AQ.
I'm going blank. Our boy from Hockey Talk.
AQ.
Yeah, AQ. Sorry, Jesus Christ. He looks like AQ a little bit, maybe. But anyways, they put him on the jumbotron at MSG. The place goes bananas. The team wins. They got a great record. This guy's been at really basically every home game, and I think they're 7-1 in the playoffs.
That's a great start to his career as the Giants head coach.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley's come out and said he feels like he's got a swagger back too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so who knows what that means for the Giants. Let's dive back into this game. Last night, the big conversation in the Garden was that the fans were screaming "fuck Draymond" and called him a bitch and stuff in front of kids. In the NHL, we talked about this because we were sitting so close. Fans do sit close. Penalty box, right behind the bench. Fans are very close in hockey, but that barrier is a big deal. Is there notorious places that are much worse than others? I would assume the Boston Celtics home games in the Garden are around the league. Everybody's like, hey, it's going to be a nightmare whenever we go up there. Just expect it. It happens in the NFL. Is it like that in the NHL as well?
Yeah, there is. Philly's obviously a place. There's quite the trash bag contingency there, so they'll act out at times. If you think Philly, remember that was I'm pretty sure, Nick, wasn't Philly the Ty Domi fan falling in the penalty box?
You guys have probably seen it, the infamous clip of the guy reaching over the penalty box because he was chirping Ty Domi, and Ty Domi squirted some with a water bottle, and the fan fell into the penalty box, and then Domi just beat the shit out of him.
Unreal.
Yeah. So you guys got to look that one up because it's
real classy, Domi.
Obviously Ty Domi's tough as nails, but this is my thing. Everybody's brave. Everybody's yelling at the zoo and by the tiger cage, rah, rah, until that fucking thing gives in. Now all of a sudden you're shitting your pants, right? This fan's yelling at Ty. Ty gives him a little squirt of water. Lean starts yelling more. Glass gives way. Okay, so he gets hit with the water here.
What the fuck is that security gonna do? Nothing.
Wait till if you got another clip of. The guy gets pissed. Obviously, he just got a whole Powerade dumped on his head. And now he's going to stand up and he's going to be Tommy Tough Guy with Ty Domi, hang over the glass. Glass gives way. He basically falls in the lion's cage. And Ty Domi's like, it's on now. And he beats the wheels off him. And there's times, it's usually around the penalty box is kind of that area, right? So you take a penalty. You got, they're holding up signs, they're knocking, they're yelling through the gap like you try to grease the hand of a referee. They're yelling through the sides trying to get to you. And you can see ads. So then the referees got to get in there on this. You have off-ice officials, which are generally kind of older gentlemen. They got to go break this up. It's nuts. But it's usually around the penalty box where you got some people yelling some stuff. And I don't know. You can always, the one good thing in hockey is that you always got the glass there so you can pretend you don't hear them.
Oh, man. I'm just thinking of that orangutan yesterday that hit the internet. Did you see this orangutan yesterday?
No.
Oh, let's run it. Let's wait until you see this. It came onto the internet. I don't know where. Probably Reddit had it 4 days ago. Came onto Twitter just yesterday, and I got it tweeted to me or texted to me from one of the boys. I think we were conversating with somebody. Ty was asking a question, and I was watching this video, and I was just getting more and more uncomfortable. And then as soon as Ty got done asking his question, the person was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And I was trying to mouth orangutan. This video hit the internet yesterday. This is what I feel like with Ty Domi and that person. Look at this shit, Rupper. Boom. Come here, bitch.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Take your shirt off, dude.
Bingo. Immediately. Slip that thing over your head. What are you doing? No, got to save it. This was an affliction shirt. Hold on, though.
He's got his leg.
Got his leg. Hold on. Yeah, this thing is just getting
he's
started.
going up his thigh.
Yeah, he's getting
You
next to
gotta
the
get
balls there. And then he's got his foot around his, he's got nowhere to go. 2 arms and a
Ripped
foot
up.
right now. Just full grip. I wonder what this person did. Was it not a snack? Was it somebody else? Is this a ricochet shot for some other asshole? Turns that son of a bitch.
Look at that grip.
Turns that son of a bitch sideways. Is that the end of it right there, Zeke?
Yeah.
That it continues to go on where he grabs the hand. I think he gets to the hand, and he goes to bite the person's hand or the arm. Person pulls it, and it's his foot. He goes to bite his foot, and then he misses the bite, and then he just lets him go. He's like, yeah, that's what I thought. And then just fucking they straight.
Yeah.
And then he's just sitting. What's he do? He just walks to the back of that cage, and then he goes, now they know. You know, now, is that what happens, sir?
Think about what we just saw, though. Like, you have a grown man. It looks like somebody else is trying to help him get
Kind
away.
of foxy build.
And that grip strength, dude, that dude is, that orangutan is not even budging. There's no fight. It's just, boom, holding it still. And this dude's body is parallel to the ground. Like, there's just this monkey doesn't even look like he's trying.
It's fucking with him right now. Like, hey, you want some? And then says, all right, we'll give you a little bit more. Here. Come on in. Let me shoot. He shot for a single leg.
He did.
Shot for a single leg.
Said,
handicap match comes in. Partner starts kicking.
You can fucking get some too.
Hey, by the way, that tag team partner was much braver a little bit ago. Not so much now.
Yeah.
Look at him turn that son bitch sideways, dude. Yeah, it's all. Look at him posting up both of his bottom feet for leverage, too.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Hey, they're us, dude. I don't know how much you're into that type of thing. I watch so much of the Animal Planet. I always love the apes. The apes shit I watch. Just watching them in the wild take food into like the water and like clean it and then like peel it just like us and then eat it and throw it out. It's
Just even the way that monkeys eat bananas.
Oh.
It's like we've been doing it wrong forever. Like but even I know you talk about how they could even break it, but then they, like humans, we peel from that stem and we usually bruise up the top, smash it up and shit. They reverse it and the thing's just like perfect.
Yeah, they
done.
pinch it. They reverse it and pinch it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's crazy.
And then there's an orangutan exhibit here in Indianapolis, and we've talked about this before, but I feel like Rupper's hearing it for the first time. You go down there and you look them right in their eye, they're looking you back. There's an actual connection. And I made eye contact with one of them. They were fucking miserable to be in that cage.
Get me out of here.
Pooped right in eye contact. We're making eye contact, pooped right there, and then just turned around and walked away. I'm like, I'm sorry, buddy. Looks like you're doing life in there too.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. And then you went and saw him.
Oh yeah, I saw him. That orangutan fucking hates himself. He's just begging for someone to just come and doof doof. Just
Whoa,
because
whoa,
he
whoa.
is. No. He really is. They sit him out there in the hot sun. He's in a
That's-
box that's way too small. I mean, that orangutan his cage is 5 times the one at the Indianapolis Zoo. I feel bad for that guy. I really do.
But to be clear, none of those things are anything to fuck with. I watched this one sanctuary one where you had to go in and actually shake the hand of the leader of the group to get into the area.
I love that.
And then if you shook the hand, it could go either way. I remember them building it up as if it was like a very tense moment. Like, will you be accepted in the cage or not? It was a new person that was going to bring them food. Had to go like say sorry or like hello to the person. And they're like, now it might give you a little, but don't back down. You have to remain, strong, whatever. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And there's people that believe that there's no
connection.
Forget it. Not getting into it. Your question, Nikki Skates, for old Rupper.
Right off the bat here, just real quick, ZD did some research back here. We found out the referees for that game that we went to that you tried to bribe. It was Wes McCauley, who was one of the better. And I think it was actually Wes who made the call, but also working that game was our buddy Tim Peel.
Whoa, Timmy.
You know what? I'm gonna reach out now and be like, hey, I don't know if you ever remember, but was there a time like give me a ballpark year wise? When was this?
April 13th.
18. Yeah,
2018.
April 13th, 2018.
We're gonna figure this out because you know what? I don't have many referees numbers, but I do have Wes McCauley's and Tim Peel's.
Here we go.
Those are the two you want, right? From what I've
Wes is the
what I've
Wes
learned.
is the best in the biz.
He was the guy. They have a highlight reel.
He might be.
Sashay!
5 minutes
We'll figure this out.
He's like the hockey league, right?
Yeah, he's awesome, dude. He's the one that does the. Yeah, isn't that what you just said?
Yeah.
5 minutes, and he's like, fighting.
Yeah,
Sounds like Mortal Kombat or like finish him.
He's an
Like, that's
absolute
what he
showman.
brings.
All right, so who's winning tonight? Make a pick, please, sir.
I'm going to say Tampa wins this game.
Me too.
Gumpy will be happy to hear that. I've been trying to advise Gumpy in games 1 and 2 that it was the Rangers, but it didn't. He didn't want to hear it, and I think it goes back to Tampa with Tampa up 3-2.
All right, we didn't want to do this again, but
Not yet.
Moment of silence for Gumpy's seat that is no longer.
Oh, his seat. Got it.
Go Bolts, pal. I've been saying go Bolts this whole time.
no moment of silence.
back. He's back.
Gumpy's back. You have any questions for Gumpy, Rupp?
Dude, this is my favorite thing going. Yeah, I mean, how you doing, Gumps? What have you been up to up in with no Bud
It's
Lights
cold
in
up
Canada?
here in the Great White North, pal.
Man, it sounds
What kind of brouhahas you drinking without no Bud Lights up there?
I'm drinking Amstel Lights now.
He does love Amstel Lights.
Well, I thought maybe a Modelo. I thought we were going to be
Modelo.
more
specifically.
Modelo. Hey, Gumpy, we appreciate you, man. We miss you, pal, even though the fake one's just as good.
Miss you, lads. Ooh.
Oh, nice. Kind of sound like that sex robot that's coming out.
yeah.
Yeah, what a wild
so good.
world. Rupper, we appreciate you, man. I think Tampa's going to win as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see. I think it goes 7 though. So I think it's going to go 7 games. And we were joking about it last night. You should be rooting for Tampa because there's 3 teams left. You've got 2 invites. The Pat McAfee crew has 2 invites to Stanley Cup parties. One being in Colorado, one being in Tampa. So unless we can work some New York Rangers relationship, you're
Which we
saying
won't.
go Bolts and
We won't. We would never. The things I've said about the Rangers
Can't
throughout
do
this
it.
entire thing, I would never be able to do that. It was just like the Caniacs. Like I was a big fan of the Caniacs. I was like, I can't do it. But I don't know if we've been invited to either of those. We have kind of just publicly said it. And
yeah, but if you keep saying it enough, it'll
yeah, a little
probably
public
happen.
pressure,
So,
right? Little public
yeah.
pressure.
I think so.
I like that. Tone has a question for you, Rupp, before you go.
Yeah, popped in my. You talked about Game 7. It's supposed to be in MSG. Same night that Bieber's got a concert.
Yeah.
Is the NHL obviously going to give way and make them play a back-to-back Game 7? And I assume Bieber's not moving for the NHL.
I don't know, man. That's a great question. I saw that and I'm like, how the hell did this happen? But it's
Beeps.
there's a lot of
He
jokes
does
that are
love
being
hockey,
made
though.
because Bieber's a big Leafs fan. He's good boys with Austin Matthews. They're saying, well, hey, the good thing is that the Leafs never show up for Game 7, so maybe Biebs won't show up that night. So, but I don't know, man. It would be really
Biebs always
interesting. But
shows
I bet you,
He
I
does.
could see Biebs. I could see Biebs moving something because he is a big hockey fan. And he loves his hockey. He's a good old Canadian like Gumps here. And I don't know. It'll be interesting, but I think it's going to go 7. So I think we'll have that storyline.
They'll probably give him some sweet tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game 7 of Stanley Cup or of the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, he's Beeps.
Yeah.
Autographed mitt by
Unless
Igor.
Gumpy's boy Chris Pronger ruined that relationship with the NHL when he buried him up against the glass.
Yeah.
So
Pronger.
maybe that might come back and bite the NHL because of prongs. But
What did
we'll see.
Pronger say? I always just wanted to be unpredictable out there. Certainly were.
Yeah.
Certainly,
Killed everybody.
certainly was. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Rupper, thank you, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, let's get to a break. April 13th, 2018, I potentially caused a penalty against the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Did you find out?
Who were they? They was Flyers, right?
Yeah, they won the series ultimately, though. So
How about that game? We lost that game?
we did lose that game, yes.
5-1. Did they score on that power play?
I think so. I
Unconfirmed,
think
but I'm
so.
gonna go with
Memory
yes.
serves.
5-1 either way. So if it was a 1-goal game, maybe. But they lost by 4.
Well, I think it was probably maybe 3-1 whenever I said, hey, we need one. And then,
Probably.
Game was already over.
And from what we know
no,
about
it's in 3-1
3-1's
is
the
the
worst
worst
league
lead
in
in
hockey.
any sport.
No, I mean,
what we know
lost
about
5-1.
Tim Peel though. Right after he did that, hey, I gotta fucking get one on McAfee.
You gotta
Have
get
to.
fucking going. This fucking asshole.
I think it was an offensive zone penalty too, which is even worse. So I think they hammered us on purpose.
There was an eye contact made. Wow.
I love that.
Yeah. that happens, you know.
Well, I continue to just think at that moment, like, oh yeah, dumbest life of all time. I just got a penalty for sitting in the fucking crowd for the Pittsburgh Penguins against the Flyers. By the way, have the Flyers won a Stanley Cup since that point?
No.
Not since.
Have they? Did they win any before that?
No. I got to go all the way back to 1975.
Oh my God.
Oh shit, they stink.
half a
Some
cup.
fan has been knocked out by Ty Domi on the ice. More recent than the Flyers winning a Stanley Cup.
Couple of garbage bags in that crowd.
Love that. We're back in about 4 minutes to end hour one. Hour two, have Ian Rapoport and AJ Hawk and more sports talk. We can't thank you enough. Cheers. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Dan in Connecticut. Lovely place here on the 5 Energy phone line. What's going on, Dano?
Oh, what's up, Pat McAfee?
Dan, you are too young to listen to this show. I can tell through. I think. How old?
I'm not Dan. I am Owen.
Nit.
Owen, how old are you?
It's so different.
I am at 8.5.
Oh, this kid.
8.5.
If you're telling us you're half age, you're too young to be listening.
That's a record.
What do
What's on your mind, pal?
you want to talk about, Owen?
I want to talk about how inspiring this show is and how
Owen!
you're inspiring this whole entire world with how you're talking about sports and how you're talking about your life experience.
Thank you, Owen.
Owen, thank you.
Love you, Owen.
Thank you,
Owen, I'm taking her on the
And also, fuck Boston.
I will let Owen know, if you're still listening, Owen, you're inspiring.
Best kid ever.
Owen, the way you talk about sports is inspiring.
Yes!
I didn't know 8.5 could do that.
Wow.
Shout out Owen.
That time.
Go, Owen.
Hey, Owen. New generation in Connecticut, I guess.
He was making me feel good, too, by the way. He's making me feel good, making the show feel good. He was talking us up. He was hyping us up, and then boom, a little...
Was this Aristotle's brother?
A little misdirection from Aristotle's brother, Owen, at 8.5 there. That was awesome.
I'd say he put his balls on your forehead, but I don't think they dropped yet. So.
You know, it's just like I'm frustrated with flying cars because I'm obsessed with that. Like I want a flying car.
Hey, me too.
What I got is my phone instead. It's like, well, the future is on your phone really right now. It's not like literally in front of you. You can't get into a flying car, but you know, your phone has it all. It's like, I don't want this phone. I'm not going to have this phone 14 hours a day like you young people do. No, thank you. Like, I'm not from that generation. Like, you know, give me a flying car. You know? and honestly, when we shut down the Mars missions, you know, we were supposed to be going in 2024, and we shut it down. But a lot of people don't realize is, you know, from here to the moon is 208,000 miles roughly. You know, 200. So you can think about that. Well, in this country, you know, a long road trip could be 4,000 miles, and you know how far it is to Australia. You know, so 200,000 miles. You know, that you think about that, and you know, it's far, but like Mars. Think about this: is 250 million miles. 250 million miles. So, you know, that's a little different thing because, you know, when you go, you know, it takes about anywhere from, you know, 9 to 11 months to get there, depending on the alignment.
Are you going to fucking Mars?
And so,
Jim, are you going to Mars? It sounds like you're...
I wish
Done the
I
research.
was. You know, maybe you'll have, I think you have a chance to do a show from there when you're 80, Pat.
Welcome back to the show. About a minute left here on radio at hour 1. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. Big thanks to Rupper for joining us.
Yeah, best.
Good conversation with him. We got a chance to chat about how despicable Boston Celtics fans are earlier in the hour. I'm sure we'll do that again. We'll dive into Cooper Kupp's contract next hour with AJ Hawk. Highest guarantee for a wide receiver in the history of the NFL. Congrats.
That boy Cooper.
Baby Coop.
That's what happens.
Oh, baby Cooper Kupp. Before we get out of here, just want to let you guys know there's like an alien walking around in Texas, I believe.
Oh, no big deal.
What's that?
You said an alien walking around?
Yeah,
Texas?
it's what you guys say it was?
Chupacabra.
I've never heard of this before. I didn't know what movie it was from, but there's something walking outside of a zoo down there in Texas. They got on camera that is kind of a rat fuck looking thing that's standing up that's about 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
Chupacabra's like Bigfoot, like a mythical creature.
Maybe 3 feet tall. I'm punting that thing to the moon, but where to come from, we'll never know. We're back in about 6 minutes with hour 2. Nailed it. I mean, that was right on the screen.
Yeah, it was.
That was pretty good. We covered 5 things in that last 40 seconds.
How tall did you say that thing was?
3 feet, you think?
That looks like somebody I used to work with.
Somebody you used to work with?
3 to 4.
Who, Bill?
Bill's not that much of a rat fuck.
That thing does look a little small, doesn't it? I mean, it really does. Like,
How close is it to Houston, this zoo?
why are a stranger cabin outside Texas Zoo? I didn't. I only saw the picture of it. And by the way, I am a part of the problem. I did not read the whole article.
Sure.
Or look at the whole video. I only tweeted, well.
Well, that would be the disappointing part. You would think. Doesn't that look like video? You click on the article. There's no video.
Well,
What's surveillance camera, right?
they definitely do have video, though. So if we could see this thing's gait and how
what
it
I'm
moves
saying.
a little bit, then maybe we can say, oh, yeah, that's Chupacabra.
I feel like I'm pretty good at judging gaits, by the way. You know? You can tell if somebody's an athlete. I can normally tell what sport they played by looking at the way they walk. A gait is a pretty big indicator to the life that you have lived, and I don't think people really know that. For instance, mine in the last like 2.5 weeks is one that was like, oh, that guy was obviously playing pickup basketball at a weight. And
That guy's got a bum knee.
That guy's got a bum knee right there. You can tell a lot by a gait. What if that little rat fucking just glide? What if it's just like a little...
Then we got a problem.
You know what I mean? And why is it at the zoo? Is it looking...
Probably
looking
looking
to
to feed. Yeah.
What if this thing crashed its little plane or whatever the hell was flying into the ground? I was like, whoa. What if
Does
that
ki-
thing's more confused than we are right
Does
now?
kind of look like
Possible.
the worms from Men in Black.
Oh, yeah.
See, I thought it might have came out of that portal that was in the sky above Houston.
Good.
Oh, you're talking
Same
about the one that
you
me and
guys
Foxy saw.
And then it was spotted in Houston.
And it never got talked about.
No.
Yep. A lot more of this shit's happening, by the way.
Yeah.
And I think, there's no coinky dink that they had an open trial talking about other shit. And then like more stuff starts happening. And you continue to attack us, us people that think that possibly there's something out there. Pretty big sky. Pretty big sky. No matter where you go on this earth.
Yeah.
Pretty big sky.
There's also.
Always will be.
Yeah.
Pretty big sky.
Not just in Big Sky Country.
No, you go there. It might be the biggest of
Yeah.
the United States.
Yeah.
Even bigger.
But you go somewhere else, always going to be a big sky. Always going to be a big sky.
sky.
There has to be something up there.
A photo just got sent back from a rover or something in space, too, that just took a photo of the galaxy closest to us as well. Boy, we are not alone.
Big sky.
Big sky.
see
Big
the-
space.
Did you see the witch on Mars?
I thought there was one on Earth.
And hold up. Why'd you do that?
Why? Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
What?
They've been
This
witches
is
for
once
centuries.
again.
What are
Yeah,
you
I
talking
know.
about?
Once again,
Only
me.
this-
Stranger.
No,
Stranger Things.
No,
What
that
are you
guy
guys talking about?
100% teed it up, and then this guy's been
Love
licking his
what
What
lips.
are you
Just
guys
waiting.
talking about?
Just waiting.
Whoa.
What are you
that's
guys-
that's what happened in your brain right there. Whoa.
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
As soon as you heard that.
What, chocolate chip?
All right, relax.
Is that the wall you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about what happened in your brain whenever he brought up witch.
Yeah.
Well, he's from Boston. Salem's around there. They're
Salem
notorious
witch
for their
trials.
witch hunting.
Which, if we're going
Witch.
to dive into the Salem witch trials.
Witch.
Which I should have. I can't believe I didn't bring up that.
Yeah. We don't need to dive into it. We don't know if it's
Has been corroborated.
Oh, now I remember what Tony's talking about, though. There was a witch spotted on Mars. It was a black and white photo of this person just
Looking at the
basically
rover.
looking at a drone.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Neither
Oh,
did
yeah.
I.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of
Unbelievable.
your, this is amazing. You two who are big meme researchers. Okay, you too.
Hey, this ain't me. This is NASA. Just releasing photos.
I found this photo the other day. My Facebook has switched over. It's I gotta call AJ real quick, but I'll have it in a second here.
All right, hour 2 on the other side. We'll deal with this in hour 4.
Okay.
Perfect.
If there's a witch bouncing around Mars that I haven't seen yet, I'd be very surprised because I feel like my algorithm, with how much I've done chatting, it does pop in new shit right in front of my face.
It's crazy. I mean, it is very damning.
And then they had that
doorway.
cave or whatever too inside.
Yes.
That's gonna feel very good for me when that all comes to
when
be.
it happens, yeah.
Yeah. What if? How come we're not being approached for maybe being the ones that get to chat with them? I feel like we have good conversations with basically everybody.
Yeah, Sunday sit down,
Send us in there. Let me go dap up that witch on Mars, dude.
Well, maybe the people inside Mars. I think the witch.
Oh, that's an exiled member of the
Yeah, you leave her be.
Or that's the lesbian.
Is that their jail?
Oh, Mars.
Oh, is there jail? Get the fuck out of the
stand on
planet.
the surface.
Go outside. Yeah, go on the surface. Good luck. What if that's the case? Anyways, I still feel like we could talk to a prisoner alien as well.
Definitely.
Fucked up. All right, let's go. Let's get out of here. Let's get back to sports. We'll be back in about a minute and a half. AJ Hawk will be here. A lot of news to cover. We will hammer it all at the top of the hour.
Yes.
All of it.
Hell yeah.
This show is going to be one that people say, good show.
Uh-huh.
Ian Rapoport's going to join us in this hour.
Here we go.
He's going to break down all the news behind everything. And then next hour, Alex Caruso. Be
Here
a
we
friend,
go.
tell a friend.
Baller.
Here we go.
We're back in a minute. We'll see you then. Not sticky at all, these gloves. Yeah! Did you see that? That's what I thought. Not sticky at all, these gloves.
Maybe you grab
Not
that.
sticky at all. Yeah! These gloves are just like so slick. They're so slick, it's hard to catch stuff. Shit! It's so difficult to catch stuff. I don't know how these kids are doing it. I have no idea what's going on.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat
What the fuck are
McAfee
you
Show
doing?
starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the show. Hour 2 on this Thursday, June 9th, 2022. Shall commence with sports talk right now.
Yeah.
Can't thank you enough for joining us. Talk Tables here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor, at Tone Diggs, one half of the Hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys here. How's the gambling going, boys?
Pretty good. I don't think anybody in this office won the same game parlay holiday bonanza.
I was not eligible. I did not hit my
I didn't mind it.
129,000. Did yours?
No, I did not hit mine either.
Did anybody hit a parlay in this entire thing? As I was watching my parlay just get sawed down, leg by leg by leg by leg. I mean, normally with parlays, you'll have at least a couple check,
Right.
and then like two are like, oh no. Basically every single piece of every one of my parlays I put together yesterday, which, kind of expected because I didn't know any of the humans that existed in their names or anything like that. I bet on them to have 3 hits and, a couple home runs and never heard of the guy. Mm-hmm. None of them did any of the things that I thought they would.
No.
Did anybody win that thing? I'll be excited to hear. Congrats to whoever did. Plus 150 might have won.
That would have been awesome.
Plus 250
it's possible.
parlay might have won there. I'm not 100% sure. We need to rework that one.
Yeah.
Change it up a little.
I think we need to change that one a little bit.
Give it like a week. Because that, like the finals one, it's the entire final. So you have multiple shots. Baseball.
Or
it's
even
similar.
doing like between X and like 10,000 or something like that because,
Plus 129,000.
Because you got to beat everybody else.
that's just a dog that won't hunt.
That's a blind auction that old
Exactly.
Robson Walton went into, and Josh Harris of the what?
What'd you just say?
Robson?
Okay.
What?
Thought I heard something else.
What?
Robson Walton and Josh Harris of the Sixers They're going into a blind auction. That's never good. That's basically what we're doing when we're trying to piece together these parlays on the sport that we never watch with players we never heard of.
Yeah, you need to cap it somewhere.
We need to rework that one. We'll go back to the Thought Shop. Take to the Thought Shop. Joining us now, not THOT.
No.
THOUGHT.
That's right. Thoughts.
Though. Shot.
Right.
Joining us now is a man who has all the thoughts in his thought shop. It might be the greatest thought shop in history, definitely with the thickest skull surrounding it. 0 concussions, and he has become the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. He has won a college football national championship, a Super Bowl championship, a Ryder Cup championship, which, by the way, the Ryder Cup, are we going to get WCW, WWF here?
Feels like it.
Are we going to get a LIV versus PGA Tour? You put your 4 versus our 4, and we'll put it on a neutral course, and we'll see who shows up more. I'm watching this LIV thing on YouTube this morning alongside like 95,000 other people live on YouTube. A lot of people who are old, a lot of people who are very old whites said, I thought it would be much more difficult to find this LIV Golf. Turns out YouTube, you just open your phone.
Yeah.
No shit. No shit. YouTube is a hell of a platform what's up, Zito? NASA's going live right now. I'll talk about this later. From Attic in Ohio, AJ Hawk. AJ watched LIV Golf this morning. DJ seems to not be playing his best golf. $125 million still sitting there for him. Did he turn it back around? Is that what you were about to say?
P.KWM is winning.
Also need full names on the side of the fucking screens, okay? Need that, Liv. Need the names because I have no idea who it is. Also, we need the names of the teams that maybe underneath the name, put the team name because just the logos, we don't have a clue any of them.
No.
The Orange S's were doing the best.
On fire.
They were on fire. They were towards the top of the entire thing. Strike Force.
Yeah, I think.
Struck Ball.
I haven't seen any of it. How's the production value?
Good. It was like, it felt like it was maybe not 4K, but up there. It had cameras everywhere. Same exact thing. British commentators I'd never heard of. Had the same feel. Different colored tracers on the ball. Light blue. Like a little bit more color, you know. Dennis Quaid said we're going to bring golf to life a little bit in that voiceover of the LIV Golf tournament that he did. Fascinated by it all, but NASA's going live to chit-chat about the witch they found on Mars.
Yeah, that's a photo, but yeah.
I have seen that.
They're going live to talk about UAPs in general. They're commissioning a new study to finally.
What the fuck have they been doing? I saw this the other day. NASA has agreed to look into UAP and What have they been doing? Isn't that what their job has been? What the fuck, dude?
I don't know if that's technically their job, is to try to figure out what's out there, or is it?
It is.
Well, what else are they doing?
What are they doing?
We're going exploring, I guess, and then if they run into some people,
where are they going?
Give us a heads
Splunking around the International Space Station? Like, yo, you're not keeping an eye out for fucking UFOs?
What do you think that witch is?
I have no idea. I have no clue. What do you think?
Like a pile of rocks.
Like erosion.
No, it's the keeper of the keys.
What color do you think that witch was if it was not a black and white photo?
All right, so I was lied to. They were not talking about the witch photo.
Yeah. What do you know?
No, all right, so let's move on here. Let's talk about some breaking.
Wait, I thought they were talking about your other alien that was through the fence on the still shots.
Okay, what are your thoughts on that little 3-foot rat bastard that might have found himself in a place that he didn't know he was in?
I think it's taller than 3 foot. I think there's definitely video, and it's possible it's somebody wearing like a Chuck E. Cheese costume as well.
You think that thing's taller than 3 foot? Put that back up. How tall is it?
Maybe 4 feet.
Well, I guess it is a zoo, so that fence has to be very, 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 very tall.
Yeah,
At least a 6
This
foot
thing's 7 feet tall.
Yeah, the
This
knee
chupacabra.
bends too. It's not standing up straight.
Yeah, it does have kind of a windshield
Cameras
or a
angling
door.
down and downhill.
It's got a car door build.
It does. It does have a car door build.
Doesn't
Interesting enough.
Kind of like you turn around there a little bit. It goes down and goes back up there.
Is it wearing tights?
I think that's its skin, dude. I don't think it has access to what we have. I feel like it's a little furry, too.
Yeah, fur.
Is this related to the Queen's aliens?
Well, everybody's telling me that was just a drone that was flying at the speed of fucking sound.
Come on. What's up with people in these drones?
I don't know.
First off, you're also not allowed to fucking fly a drone by a fighter jet, okay?
Yeah, especially at the Queen's
Clear the
Jubilee.
airspace.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing. I mean, have you seen this, AJ?
Yeah, that's got to be a drone, right?
Yeah, and everybody's telling me like,
If it's a UFO, it's pretty small.
Aren't they all the Tic Tac thing? They've all been tiny. I think they're
I need
shapeshifters.
a big one. We need a bean. I want that big old animal
bean?
walking in that shot to be flying one of these things.
probably
Then
They probably do.
Okay, here we go.
They probably do. Whoop. How you doing?
That could have been a balloon just with a hole in it.
Galaxy is
real
on a
fast.
rise.
Yeah.
Going
Super strong helium balloon. There's this hot air balloon that flies over
Those things are dangerous.
Lake Morris, the lake that I live at, or whatever. They fly it over. That's like the oldest science experiment of all time, right?
Yeah.
That's what that is. I've watched this thing a lot, and the wife has gotten intrigued by it.
Oh God.
You should
Whatever.
go up.
No.
Do not.
No.
Those
Don't
are
be an
death-
asshole.
Those are death traps, dude.
I'm
There
not
was
going to
like
be the
6 of 'em.
Amish of the sky, dude.
Yes.
All right?
Hey, this past weekend, there was like 6 of them within 10 miles of my house because they were flying over the memorial for the tournament, the golf tournament going on, and the Goodyear blimp or whatever, too. They were landing in fields around me. I was like, man, I don't know if I have the balls to do that.
I do not. And what happens if it, God just goes, you know?
Yeah.
Well, couldn't God technically do that
chance.
anytime to you?
Sure.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be in
No,
a goddamn.
floating in a fucking balloon.
I'm not trying him.
There was a
What if God does
Or
that when you're
her.
in your car?
there was a mothership tornado by you last night.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Athens, Ohio, I believe.
Crazy.
There's-
Shout out Bobcats.
There's levels to that thing. Did you see that?
I have not seen that, no.
Oh, dude.
In Athens? That's, yeah, where OU is.
Look alive. Oh, greatest college town in Ohio.
For Halloween.
They do say that.
They do say that.
Yeah.
They do say it.
They do
It's a good
say
time.
All right, let's dive into some stories here in the NFL. Not that all that stuff isn't vastly more important than the NFL. Okay, if that little 3 foot to 7 foot rat bastard car door looking thing is real, that's a big conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah.
What is it?
And what zoo is that?
It's a Texas
Texas.
Zoo.
Yeah.
I think someone tweeted us it was Amarillo.
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 Mothership.
It's all Dean there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That takes the tractor.
Another round. Another round.
Another round.
Take the tractor. Another round. Another round. He said, I seen a rat bastard walking around 7 foot tall up from our town. All right, let's dive into it. Cooper Kupp just signed the largest guaranteed contract in the history of wide receivers in the NFL. 3 years, $75 million guaranteed. 3 years, $80 million in total. It's an extension. There's 5 years on that. I assume they're playing a little salary cap gymnastic with cash over cap situation because Kroenke has all the money. Last year, obviously, he led the NFL in receptions with 178. Receiving yards, 2,425. Yards after catch, which doesn't get talked about. Everybody talks about the triple crown of receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns, which he did lead as well at 22. Yards after catch, 846. Led the NFL in all 4 of those stats last season. Became the Super Bowl MVP. He is an absolute dog. This guy is a stud because normally the yak leader doesn't have the deep ball touchdowns and everything like that. So to be able to be this big of a playmaker at all times, he obviously signed a new contract, the highest guaranteed contract in the history of wide receivers in the NFL, in a Matthew Stafford jersey, basically saying thank you to that Detroit legend, right, Foxy?
Yes, sir.
I love it. This is great news for the Rams, and it continues to prove our point that the salary cap is a fugazi. The salary cap might be real to the broke owners, okay? You little broke-ass billionaires, okay? You can't do anything. But to the wealthy owners, those who have cash on hand, the ability to put the money up front and into escrow, I believe, to hold on for the guarantees, they will continue to profit and benefit from this, just like Kroenke has with the Rams. Kupp, an absolute game wrecker, is back with the Rams for at least 3 more years, as is Matthew Stafford, and you would assume Sean McVay as well. What a signing, AJ Hawk.
I mean, he has to be super thankful that Matthew Stafford came there. They seem to have a great rapport from day one. And we hear about them, coming into the facility at 4:45 in the morning and going over and watching every possible rep they can and studying the defenses. So when you listen to Cooper Kupp, I know I mentioned on the show, when they talked to him after one of their games, a Sunday night, whatever it was, I don't know when he explained exactly the coverage, what they were doing, what we were supposed to do, what I was supposed to do, my adjustment. And he was so nonchalant and just casual about it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand why you throw that dude the ball almost every play.
When he gave that answer, that I think is what led to us learning about him and Matthew Stafford watching film at 5 a.m. every single morning, because somebody had to speak like, yeah, Matthew Stafford speaking the same language as Cooper Kupp, which is the most efficient and beneficial weapon that you can have in football, is when the wide receiver and the quarterback don't have to say anything to each other and everybody knows exactly what's going on here. The offensive line doesn't have a fucking clue what's about to happen. The other wide receivers might not have a clue what's about to fucking happen. Running back got no idea what's about to happen. But the ability to make an audible on on the fly because of what you've seen in film, what you've seen on the practice field, what you've seen in the walkthrough. It's Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes thing, right?
Yeah.
Where they see something and what the play was designed to do. Travis Kelce early in the game, hey, if we do that again, I'm just going to stay straight as opposed to dropping in. I think it's wide open. And then all of a sudden in the middle of the game, do it, Trav, do it. And Travis has told the story. He's like, hey, shut the fuck up almost. Yeah. And then Aaron Rodgers has told the story about Davante Adams where they just look at each other and it's like, yep, we're doing this. Cooper Kupp and Stafford were able to do that in less than a year. And I think it's because of all the amount of time that they spent together. Yeah, I think he said it was cover 2. They kind of showed like a cover 2, then it became cover 0. Then the safety kind of crashed down, and I took my out to a post or something. Like, I forget the exact breakdown. You're 100% right. What a lucky find for the Rams. And I'm not saying lucky because Cooper Kupp didn't put in all the work and everything like that. I'm just saying lucky because there ain't no way anybody predicted Cooper Kupp to fucking be what he has become in the NFL other than Cooper Kupp and his family. Congrats on getting the highest guarantee in the history of wide receivers. That's fucking awesome.
Well, and the craziest part about the entire thing is with this Donald extension and the Cooper Kupp extension, they actually created cap room. Like now they're
for OBJ.
Like they're going to be able to bring him in. They obviously signed Allen Robinson in the offseason, who's a stud, and they still have Van Jefferson. It's crazy how good they are.
When it came to guaranteed money, he is now at $75 million guaranteed, which is 3 years. Tyreek Hill, $72.2. Diggs at $70. Davante Adams, $65.6 million. Hey, now, Davante's probably going to earn all the bonuses and incentives in his entire thing. But whenever that contract happened, do you remember us shitting our pants?
Oh, yeah.
The Davante Adams deal we thought was big. Then Diggs sticks around with Buffalo somehow. We were thinking he's maybe going to Dallas to play with his brother. Tyreek Hill gets the trade and a big payday from Miami, and now Cooper Kupp on top of it. These numbers are only yodely.
Who's next?
Debo.
DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel.
Terry.
More than 75 guaranteed?
No.
I mean, who's next to top this?
This dude just came out as Super Bowl MVP. This is what the teams are saying to the players that are like DK Metcalf's agent is telling him, well, here's the new standard. This is what the going rate is for a number 1 or whatever. And DK Metcalf's agent is going to sell DK Metcalf exactly how DK Metcalf is. This guy's big. This guy he's gotten better every single year. He made this team better. He's beloved here. He loves this place. He got quiet whenever you guys said, hey, we're not trading him. Like there was no conversation in there. But the team's going to come back and say, the guy that got paid that was a Super Bowl MVP. He led the NFL in the Triple Crown of yards, receptions, and touchdowns, and yards after catch. So when you can present that, okay, to us, we will pay the same exact. That's what the team will say. Exactly what the team will say. But I think the agents and the wide receivers are like, no, this is just how it goes now. This is what it's going to cost to play ball with a good wide receiver.
Yeah, when you look at his numbers, I mean, 178 receptions, that's so many catches
1 year
on the year. Like, if Cooper Kupp can stay somewhat healthy, I mean, how do you stop this offense? Honestly, what are you supposed to do? They have so many weapons, and this guy alone, I feel like, creates so many issues for defenses. I mean, the Rams, they're doing it right now. They're kicking the can down the road, as people want to say, but guess what? It's working right now.
The Rams have been able to sign Stafford to a 4-year, $160 million deal. Cooper Kupp to a 5-year, $110 million deal. Aaron Donald to a 3-year, $95 million deal. Bobby Wagner to a 5-year, $50 million deal. Allen Robinson, 3 years, $46.5 million deal. This tweet coming from Field Yates all this offseason after winning a Super Bowl, and they haven't even brought back OBJ yet, which they will end up doing, who they found a way to pay him money last year. The salary cap is only real to the owners that don't have as much money as the other owners and want to use it as an excuse. The cash over cap explanation that Andrew Brandt gave to us yesterday is great news for the teams that have owners with a lot of money on hand. Congratulations to the Denver Broncos, who are probably going to get into this game very soon. And with that GM, Ziegler, who has allegedly been, Ziegler's with the Raiders. Who's the GM? Patton. He's going to be able to, this is a dream for him as well. As soon as you get an owner that has the ability with all the money, it's like, you know how your brother-in-law does it? Or your cousin-in-law, whatever the fuck it is, does it over in LA? We can do the exact same model here. Hey, we just need you to front. Will you be able to front us like $400 million every offseason? Robson's like $400 million. Yeah. What do we even?
You want 800?
This is the NFL, isn't it? I mean, what do we need to do? They're going to be able to do this forever. Like, that is why new money coming to teams is so exciting, I believe. And congrats to the Rams being able to take advantage of the whole situation, knowing that LA is up for grabs right now. Go ahead, Tone.
You guys were talking about who the next is probably going to be. If you don't think DK or Debo or whoever is going to get that this year more than that, Next year, Justin Jefferson is up from his rookie.
Who's
contract.
ownership in Minnesota? Because now we can start piecing together.
Ziggy Wilf. Yeah.
Ziggy Wilf.
How much? Is that big
Doesn't
money?
he own a soccer team? So he must have tons of cash.
He's been an owner for a long time. I know that.
Isn't it? How many teams? Like, we are the dumbest show. Okay? We are the dumbest show on record every single day. And everybody knows that. We know that.
Yeah.
How about us, though, with this next level analysis? How much money does the owner actually have? And then we'll know if he'll be able to sign Justin Jefferson to a deal. We'll be able to know if these things will be able to happen. We'll be able
Is
to.
he liquid enough to do that?
Yeah, well, now we have to get into the finances of these owners. We need to know where the investments are. Yeah. Is this money cash? Is this money held up in real estate? Is this money held up in the stock? Crypto?
Okay.
It's a lot less than it once was. I think it is back on its way up, though. Congrats to crypto.
Oh, it's back.
I think, I don't know. Last time I saw it like a week ago. Joining us now is a man who will know more. Actually, no, he won't.
Yeah.
This guy works for the NFL and has no idea what's going on when it comes to salary cap, but he is a senior NFL insider for the league and NFL.com, host of the weekly wrap-up with Rap Sheet and Friends, us being the friends, he being Rap Sheet. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rapoport. Rap Sheet, I seen that Good Morning Football trotted out the Neuralink this morning.
Oh, yeah.
The NFL's like, well, somebody's making a very compelling case that everything that has been said on the outside of this league, that our salary cap is a big fugazi. We need to send a Neuralink out there to read a memo and let everybody know that the salary cap is real. We just need to know, after learning this whole cash over cap situation yesterday from Andrew Brandt, who has the most money fluid, like who has the actual cash. That's going to change this whole game, right? That legitimately changes everything, I think, Ian.
First of all, I did like how Tom did a whole nice segment on, like, let me explain what the salary cap is, but didn't exactly CC at Pat McAfee Show. I feel like it was more kind of like understood. You know, it would have been just too aggressive to do like, hey, Pat, you know, so he just kind of did it, assuming you would see it.
Well,
and you did.
I did see it, yes. I mean, as soon as that goes up on the air, we are added in every single conversation about the salary cap because I feel like,
really?
Every single one that happens around all things. Now, we do watch the NFL Network every single day, so anytime the Neuralink trots his ass out there in a hoodie looking super cool, by the way.
What was that about?
He might have been plugged in.
Yeah, well,
He might have been plugged in at the time. That's why he was wearing the hoodie, because the plug... Oh,
make him look more personable.
So
get him out of a suit, put a hoodie on him, plug him in.
What are you saying about your hat?
Trying to get my hat properly situated.
Yeah,
I'm like a lefty pitcher. It's never like straight.
Is that because of the shape of your head, you think?
I don't think so. Although I feel like I have a normal head, but honestly, maybe not. The whole time I might have had an oddly shaped head and not known it.
Well,
possible, right?
Welcome to being your true self.
Yeah, let's go, Rashi.
Congrats.
To answer your question, though.
Yeah, congrats. We're all happy.
There is
baby AJ.
There was a linebacker named Traven Howard, who is a restricted free agent linebacker who played for the Rams. And I say played because yesterday he got waived. And so his $2.5-something million salary vanished, and he now no longer makes it and is on waivers today. The reason why that happened was because the Rams were getting ready to sign Cooper Kupp to that 3-year extension worth about $75 million or a little more based on the new money average, right? So there are ways to work around the salary cap. There are ways to push money into the future, which is what the Rams have done, what the Packers have done, honestly, what a lot of the really good teams have done.
Yes.
But there are consequences because you have to make everything square, and the bill comes due, and the bill yesterday was cutting this linebacker who's actually a really good special teams player. It's not as exciting as Cooper Kupp, but it is real.
No offense to the special team player. I fucking appreciate his dedication to not only Johnny Hecker, but the entire Los Angeles Rams special teams. But that happens every year. People get cut. Cap casualties happen all the time. What we're saying strictly is that number is just like a recommendation almost for the owners that don't have a lot of money on hand. For the owners that have a lot of money, like Kroenke, like Robson Walton, like these people that are able to put the guaranteed money into escrow and they're able to front the money basically and pay $40 or $61.5 million right now so you can kick that thing on voided years for 5-6 years. Like, and it's only happening to great players who you know aren't going to fizzle out. I feel like this is a loophole that only the uber wealthy owners, which all owners are uber wealthy. They're all billionaires. They're all flying on their own planes. They're all living very well. But for this loophole, it feels like it's only the big money owners that can do it. Am I wrong or right in thinking that?
I don't believe you're right in that because I feel like most of the honestly, almost all of the owners are at a point where they can do that. Basically, every owner by now, because the money's so big, because the TV money's so big, the owners have that cash. So theoretically, almost everybody could do it. Now, you talk about the richest owners, Dave Tepper, the Pagulas.
What about the Bengals?
What about the Chargers?
Can you take a loan out and like use the team as like collateral? How does that work though? They don't have 400 mil.
Putting a lien on the Bengals?
I don't think you can. I don't think you could do that. You're right. There are some teams that have traditionally not done, conversions where you take, you take the base salary, you turn it into a signing bonus, you spread it out, you push it into the future. There are some teams that have traditionally not done that either philosophically because they don't want to have a big credit card due eventually, or because they just cannot spend the money like that. I mean, the Bengals don't do it. The Chiefs haven't pushed a lot of money into the future at all. The Cardinals haven't done it. There are several teams that haven't done it. Eventually, though, it all comes due. What I believe teams like the Rams have smartly done is say the salary cap's going to be so big that when the dead money comes due, it's not going to matter that much for us.
Well, and also, if it comes due, that's only if the player doesn't work out or see it all the way through. If the player
it comes due eventually. Like the Saints right now this year are paying several million, I forget how much, but it's many, for Drew Brees, who
didn't
doesn't
work
play
out, right? Didn't play there anymore.
Wow, but it worked out pretty good, but just his contract is over, and they have to now account for it. They cannot spend that cap space because Drew Brees' dead money is on the cap.
So the question though, do owners care about possible dead money in the future, I guess? And do any owners really care?
I'm so sorry. Hold on, AJ, before you get to that, Ian.
Go ahead.
Drew played out his entire contract, then he retired?
Yes.
Then why is there dead money if he played out his contract?
Because it all comes due. So basically they push into the future, so much so that the future extended to beyond when he was playing. So basically what Brees did, if you remember last year, the last year that Brees played, he took his salary down to like $1 million, right? Like the minimum. Malcolm Jenkins did the same thing. I believe Alex Mack did the same thing. It's a way to minimize the cap hit, but there's still dead money, so it still counts. And what dead money basically means is you just can't spend it. So you get a little bit less than everyone else because you have to account for Drew Brees' hit, for instance.
So what was that? That was voided years on the end that they couldn't just say void and get rid of?
Correct. So it's not actual money.
So his contract wasn't up.
Nobody gets actual money from those voided years, but it does count against the cap.
So his contract wasn't up then?
It was, and it wasn't.
Oh my God! Go ahead.
Are any contracts ever up then? Like how? And do you see teams doing this? Is this the model moving forward? Do you think these big? We know Broncos 4.5, 4.6 bill. Is this going to be the model? You got to have this cash on hand.
It feels like it is, especially if you really want to compete. And the Rams have been like, in a weird way, like it's kind of cool that they've won because they've been such a curiosity. They do things so different, and now that they've won, I do feel like it's a little message to teams like you may want to think about doing things this way. And the way that the Rams do it is they make big trades. They value great players over lottery tickets, which are first-round picks. They don't mind pushing money into the future. They don't mind saying, well, made a mistake on Todd Gurley, made a mistake on Jared Goff, send those guys away, focus on the guys we have, deal with the cap. Like, they take big swings, and I do feel like there are teams in the NFL that look around and go, well, if the Rams did this and are really good, we should think about doing this because we can, and then just manage it how they've done it.
Yeah, so the salary cap's fake.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Feels like
it is.
There's a big loophole in there.
There's a loophole towards surviving this year. It's like the credit card. It's like paying the minimum payment on the credit card. Eventually, they're going to come calling, and you're going to be like, is this spam or is it really the credit card company? Okay, wow, this is really
They hope to send that to their kids. They hope they die and that goes to their kids.
Yeah, the next GM deal with it.
It's like college debt.
Yeah, Sean Payton did that. You guys can figure that out. Go ahead, Ty.
Rap sheet. So, like the Bengals and the Chargers, two teams who are going to have to do this in the immediate future to give guys like Burrow and Herbert what they're going to need. Like, Is there a chance that they're going to have to sell because they're not going to be able to facilitate what these guys are going to demand in future contracts?
No, they can afford it. They can afford it. And that's one great thing about the TV contracts is that it's so much money that everyone has money. So they may not philosophically believe in doing these cap conversions, restructuring deals, pushing money into the future. A lot of teams don't. The Bucks didn't until Tom Brady came and was like, all right, we got to change the way we do things. Philosophically, not all teams do it. The Chargers and the Bengals can afford their mega million quarterback contracts that are coming. But I honestly don't know the answer about whether they're going to say, like, let's push money into the future or whether we can just do it the way we've always done it.
Fascinating, because I'll be intrigued to see, like, 5 years from now, if the owners that don't do this in that one per club meeting get so loud that they shut down this loophole. Do you see that happening or no?
I actually think about this as far as, like, the owners being like, you know what, this is not healthy, I guess you'd say. I don't know if that's the right word, but this is not healthy for all of us to just keep pushing money into the future. Let's figure out a way to make this not happen. Like, teams could look at the Saints.
The Bengals going,
guys,
this isn't healthy for us. Come on, guys. Let's go ahead and slow
The Bengals vote
this
against
down.
basically everything at these owners' meetings anyway. So if the Bengals vote against it, they'd be like, well, that's Mike Brown. Like, if there's ever, like, you know, if it's ever like 30-2, I'm always like, all right, the Bengals and who else, you know? But I do think about that because, like,
Bears.
You know, it is a lot. Yes, a lot of times the Bears as well. But I do wonder if owners will be like, "This is not good for any of us. Let's make it so it doesn't happen."
It's great for the players. I hope it continues to happen. The great players, at least. Now there is obviously always going to be cap casualties, which I don't love because a lot of those guys are my friends. But I like seeing people make money and get paid for all their hard work. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Rapshi, because of the money actually matters now. Do you see a lot more places kind of becoming like a Jerry World or a Patriots place where they're going to move their stadium and kind of build it up around it? And also, are the Commanders screwed now because it sounds like they're getting pushed back on the movement of their stadium?
Yeah, first on the Commanders thing, I read a really interesting Washington Post article yesterday, and most of the second half of on this, you know, Commanders Jack Del Rio issue, most of the quotes are from state representatives who are saying, after hearing this, we're not really going to talk about the stadium in Virginia. That was probably not very good for the Commanders, and we'll see where their stadium actually is. That was probably pretty alarming. The answer to your other question is yes, because, you know, like, it's, I mean, he doesn't,
So,
it's amazing.
Him just coming out. Yeah. Here's my thoughts.
All right, well.
Can you turn on that mic, please? Turn it all on. Like, do you think Jack knew the firestorm that was going to come after that?
Knowing him, I'm sure that's why he did media and was ready for it. And then had to come out later, and he, you know, he was fighting or whatever. That was quite a mess yesterday. The answer to your other question, teams are going to try to do that. And that is why you saw the Chicago Bears. Remember they purchased land in Arlington Heights like last year?
Yeah.
If they do move the stadium there, that's the goal. Own your own land, build a Patriots place or, you know, what the Rams have around it.
All the money.
Own all of it, make a lot of money, and then everybody gets rich. Which they're already rich, but richer.
So isn't it fascinating, and I don't want to knock the hustle here or the business, but isn't this sell to the communities? We're going to build a stadium here, and we're going to bring a bunch of business to the community.
Mm-hmm.
Then the owners say, also, look at this really cool thing we're going to do. We're going to build our own hotels, our own restaurants, our own casino, and our own stores. It's going to help our community as well.
Right.
You know, like this. Isn't that that's an interesting game that's being played? But if you were an owner, why would you not do that? Like, that Patriot place is awesome. It is absolutely awesome. And they have a casino, I think, that goes in there. I mean, it is great business. It's easy for everybody that travels in there. Green Bay has a similar type operation.
Yeah, Green Bay's building a really cool one also, yeah.
They make $200 million a year in real estate around the Packers Stadium.
That's
not bad.
That's a lot of Aaron Rodgers contracts.
Jerry makes $70 million every home game.
Yeah, from the shit that's
From the
just
shit
around
around
where
it.
he's at.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And they're still. I mean, and I think
77.
what they're going to.
77.
I think what they're going to do is around the Star, their practice facility, kind of do the same thing. So he'll actually have two places to pull money from.
Go ahead, Tone.
Ian, Texans can't be happy, huh?
Good question.
Go on, please. Answer the question.
They are. I would assume the Texans are not happy. And obviously, what you're referring to is the fact that they've now been added to the Deshaun Watson lawsuits because of allegedly, according to a New York Times article written by Jenny Vrentis, allegedly giving Deshaun Watson an NDA when I believe one of the masseuses came out on Instagram with some of his information. I believe that's what it was referring to. No, I don't think this is great for them. I'm curious what it all means, and I don't know enough right now to say like how meaningful it is. Like, how are they going to be roped into damages, or are they not going to be? But if the literal only thing that happens is everyone had to read that headline, very bad. I cannot imagine anyone's happy. No.
I don't like, it's the off season. And this is a very serious allegations, and it's in a lot of different avenues now at this point, and he has the largest guaranteed contract in the history of the NFL, and he's a quarterback in the face of a franchise. I mean, there's so much that goes into this, so we have to talk about this. It feels like, and this is me just talking about from my own personal perspective, there's a lot of alleged. Oh, Liquid Death, pretty good water, huh? Wow. You never drank out of a hose growing up, for sure.
No,
ever.
No.
Well, I mean, we had water fountains and all, but every once in a while.
Never.
Probably never, yes.
Yeah. That's kind of a similar feeling right there. When the first time I drank Liquid Death, I was like, oh, this feels like back summer, right into the hose, ice cold water. It is. That Liquid Death was a nice nostalgia thing for me, and it's so cold. So cold.
Get that rusted.
I don't want to go the wrong way in the topic, but I actually like my water lukewarm, room temperature. But it also tastes delicious, and I do love Liquid Death. So I have a bunch of it in my office. It's good to sip on.
All right. Well, you probably got paid for that, but we.
No, I didn't. I actually like it.
You're looking to go to their little Liquid Death festival like you did with Traeger. Remember he was at that Traeger festival? Hey, thank you for the grill.
Yeah. Eating and boozing.
Remember he was shaving his private parts at Manscaped?
Oh, yeah. That's right. He wasn't allowed to have his phone for a week.
That's right. On NFL Network?
Yeah, you weren't allowed to have your phone for a week. You remember that, Ian? You always got some angle.
Why we got to bring up old stuff?
That is,
well, it's just old stuff is what leads us to believe what's happening currently, pal. That's kind of the way the world works. We apologize. We're not happy about it. Go ahead, AJ. What were you thinking there?
Oh, no, I'm just blown away. I have no idea any of this stuff happened. Was there a Tubin situation that I'm unaware of? What are we talking about?
Yeah, Ian, what did you do? You manscaped yourself on your story, right?
Live on air? Or?
Did he really?
No,
I think so, yeah.
I would say Google has done a very good job of chronicling the situation. I stepped away from work for 2 weeks involuntarily.
That's not true.
Involuntary.
That's not true. How did that go, by the way? Did you just have your phone but no internet? So every time you go to it, you check it, you just weren't able to send a tweet? What happened?
I was able to do a lot of things, but I didn't do anything. And you always wonder, if ever that happens, which I hope no one ever has that happen to them, or does that for themselves, whichever the case may be.
By the way, he never showed himself. This is him. He did a Manscaped ad, and then it became a big deal, I think, right? Yeah.
Good Google. There's a great description of everything somehow. Anyway.
Probably because of you.
On your burner.
That's what you did for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry.
No, I mean, I kept thinking people would just contact me hey, I know you're not working, but here's this news. And it basically never. One time in 2 weeks it happened. So almost never. Everybody was like, oh, guess that guy's not working. Call someone else. That's what happened. It was very lonely.
Damn. How about you kind of got COVIDed when everybody had to go to their house and be alone? That kind of happened to you. Everybody just expected. That's a shame, man. Did you respond on the other side I'm back? But what did you say?
I did do a I'm back post on the Twitter, and then I think there were 2 stories that I had right after, and I was like, all right, this is and it felt like normal, but it was. I would not say the greatest 2 weeks of my life.
We missed you, dude.
We did.
Let's get back to this, though. The Deshaun Watson stuff, it feels like just personally, a couple weeks ago, a lot of alleged. This is alleged to happen. There was 2 indictments that did not come. It was jury heard testimony, heard evidence more than we had heard. But this is all alarming. It's very serious. We can't wait to hear, or not can't wait, but we will hear as this goes and we will judge accordingly. We want justice to be served. Now, it's hard not to just be really feels like this dude's a predator. Like, doesn't it? Like, and I guess that's what the PR in Jenny Varentes and what the accuser's attorney Busby has been doing this entire time. But how does the NFL and the Browns have you heard anything from the NFL or the Browns about all these new things? Because the Browns have to be sitting there like, oh, what did we, did they know? Like this, the more we learn and the more we hear, and it's all allegations and accusations, and there might be 24 different trials we're hearing, which we'll hear a lot of. If it's anything like Depp and Amber Heard, we're going to hear a lot and learn a lot. Do the Browns or the NFL, is there anybody in there that's like, this can't happen any longer? Like, what is there ever going to be a timeline to this that they tell Deshaun, like, you have to go, you have to leave the league and handle this or anything? Because it's not good for anybody, Ian.
So you're talking about the commissioner's exempt list, right? Which is basically paid leave, taking him off the field and putting him somewhere else, which happened to Adrian Peterson. It's happened to a couple of different players over the years. That is designed or is used for stopping players from playing in games while there are criminal charges pending. As of right now, there are no criminal charges against Deshaun Watson. Many, many legal charges, but no criminal charges. And there's no games. So suspended players are allowed to practice. He is obviously not suspended, though he is under investigation. If he is suspended, if there is some sort of significant discipline, then he will be, I believe, allowed to practice if history serves. Like DeAndre Hopkins is allowed to practice, and he's starting the season suspended. So the way it is set up, he will still be there on the field practicing, and the only sort of decision that the league would have to make would be, when games come, is this wrapped up or is it not? And because it's civil rather than criminal, at least judging from history, it sounds like he would be able to play, but we do not know that for sure.
Okay, it's not good.
And let me also add one more thing. Remember we talked about a couple weeks ago and Roger Goodell came out and said the investigation is coming to a close, right? Well, when these new allegations came, these are now being looked into. So I would say it's still on the back end, on the back nine, as you would say. But I don't think it's over because I believe the league is investigating these new claims as well and talking to Deshaun Watson about it as well.
It's the second nine. My mind's in the Augusta. But it is, it's very serious. I mean, this is, I hate talking about it every day because of how terrible all the accusations are, but also it's not good for the NFL for this to continue to go. And Deshaun, I mean, I don't know how. He just doesn't, does he not read any? Does he?
He went
private
on Twitter.
Private on Twitter and on Instagram, I guess.
Post that IG.
Now, let me ask you about the Cooper Cup thing because it felt like you wanted to break the news, but you didn't know all the details. So you said, like, hey, coming soon. It feels like there will be a deal with Cooper Cup north of $20 million amongst all the other highest paid wide receivers in the NFL, which he rightfully deserves. How long, and you alluded to this, I think like a week ago with us, or maybe earlier in the week with us. I forget the exact time. You're like, Cooper Cup deal probably coming soon. How long has this been in the works? And $75 million guaranteed is the most all time at the position. That's great news. I feel like that's how they pitched it to Cooper Cup whenever they sold him on this deal.
Yeah. So receiver contracts are like impossible to figure out because you have like, let's say Tyreek Hill at 30, but the last year is so big. It's figuring out where he is among the highest paid is hard, but he did very well. And this is a really good deal for him. I think as far as when this was going on, so probably like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks before the Aaron Donald deal was done, they started working on Cooper Cup. So basically simultaneously, I had a pretty good sense, I would say yesterday morning, that it was going to happen. And then when I reported what I did, which was, the two sides have made significant progress, a deal could come today. It was basically with the understanding that a deal was coming probably tonight, but wasn't quite finished. And just judging from all the factors, how far along it was that a deal was happening, I decided to report it like right then rather than wait for like okay, it's done. That's basically it.
Yeah, you don't want to get scooped there, right?
Do not want to get scooped, yes.
Oh, good play by you, Ian.
Wow, look at you.
That's like the classic. That's like the classic. Put the eyeballs out when something's about to happen, and then it does happen. Just letting everybody know we knew about this beforehand.
Yeah.
Can't thank you enough for joining us. What's coming next?
Next week we got another round of mandatory minicamps, so we'll see if there's any holdouts there.
Okay.
Maybe.
Whoa. Baker and Jimmy exiled from their camps. That's what Brady Quinn said. That's what Brady Quinn, not me. I'm just quoting that guy's brother-in-law. Excused from mini camps. Kenny Moore not at mini camp, I believe, here in Indianapolis.
Kenny Moore at mini camp.
Let's go.
Although he does want a new contract. Hey, I'll go through it in a sec. That was good stuff about Darius Leonard, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I tried to do my research.
I thought the same thing when I was like back surgery, like this, but anyway, that was good.
Turns out it was good news, allegedly. Like that's what it is actually good news because they found what was affecting his ankle. It's like, this is great news. He might be, I can't wait to see him play football with a functioning ankle. That'll be great.
It's been a little bit since he was fully healthy. So no Baker in Cleveland, which makes, I know it's sort of exiled, but it just makes no sense to have someone awkwardly standing there on the sidelines. He may or may not be on the team. He may or may not be the starting quarterback. I don't know if he's going to go or not. And then everyone wants to talk to him, and teammates are kind of like talking to him, but you don't really know if he's going to be there. And then, oh, by the way, Deshaun's there. Like, feels like the right move to say, just hang out home, do your thing, and we'll figure it out.
And we might need you to play this year.
And we might need you to play, or we might trade you.
Hey, he might play this year, right? Or no? Is Jacoby going to be the guy if it's not Deshaun this year?
I would say both are on the table. There's arguments to be made for both. For Baker, to me, being a starting quarterback is probably the most important thing. So if that's his only option, I would say it makes sense. If he has another option, like maybe like the Panthers, then that makes more sense.
All right, we appreciate you, Ian. You're the best, buddy. Have a great day. I'm surprised you're not golfing. You're not golfing today?
I played earlier.
How'd you do?
I drove the ball absolutely everywhere except where it was supposed to be. So I shot a 90, which was awful, but I just couldn't drive the ball. So.
To be honest, looking at you, I think we all assume 110, 120, especially if you're walking. So you're getting 90. That's amazing. Look at you beating our expectations by 20 strokes.
That feels a little hurtful, but you're not totally wrong, so I'll allow it.
Now, you play a lot, so we would hope that you would continue to go south of a hundo, but today, not a good day. You get a 90, not bad. Ladies and gentlemen, you had a great appearance on here. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rapoport. Thank you, Rap. Let's get to a break, shall we? He just can't take it that the salary cap's fake. None of these, you know what I mean?
None of them. Yeah, it's like it's easy for all these owners to, put $300-400 mil out every offseason.
Yeah, we're all at the point now where all the owners can, and then we're like, well, how about the Bengals? How about the Chargers? And then we could have went, how about Steelers?
Yeah.
How about we could have done it. Well, maybe
he did say
Jaguars.
He did say Bengals and Chargers can do it.
Jaguars can do it.
Because they do get like $300 mil from the TV deals, but like I would assume most of that $300 mil is already taken up in other operations.
Yeah, like building an indoor facility.
And I don't know, you use that to pay, part of your salary cap too. You can't have that on top of to do your cash over cap. I don't know. How liquid are these guys? That's the question.
That is the question.
These guys and gals, how much can they get to?
You look at the Rams thing, like a lot of those Fugaze contracts or whatever that's reported, but like look how much fucking guaranteed money they gave this offseason. It was like over $400 million.
Kroenke's like,
one offseason.
We'll do it again too. You boys win another one. There's another $500 million coming out next year, too, if we need it. I mean, Kraft's going to do it this upcoming offseason.
Oh, yeah. Kraft will do it again. He did last year. But, I mean, if you're a Panthers fan, you got to be pumped. It's like,
Tepper's doing that.
Yeah, this is exactly what Tepper wants to do.
Tepper's trying his best. It's been a tough sell thus far for the Panthers to get people, but if he starts opening up the old checkbook a little bit more, which he can do and he said he would do, the Broncos got to be pumped as well. That new Walton money coming in. Come on, Jim.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jim's in a good spot, too, because they only had to pay $20 million for the new stadium. So he has plenty left over.
All right, we're back in 4 with some phone calls on the 5 Energy phone line, 1-833-4 McAfee. We can't wait to see you then. Joining us now is a man who got to experience that at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Got to experience it in the NFL. Now he's on television. He's this man's brother-in-law. He's obviously incredibly handsome. Ladies and gentlemen, Brady Quinn. Yay! Holy hell. Jesus. You look like that all the time.
I don't know if you guys can see what's behind me. I think AJ might be more familiar with this picture. So hopefully AJ can elaborate or add some context to all this.
Is that Chopper up over your left ear?
That's Chopper. Yeah, that's Chopper.
AJ,
how'd you get that in your background?
What happened here?
Well, this is a golf cart submerged.
Why are you fully dressed underwater?
Thank you, Brady. Okay. Brady, Yeah, you gotta. I guess we have to mention it, Brady. This is Pat. You know, this golf cart, the e-brake just didn't work on me. I was parking close to the green. I rode that joker right into the pond because it took a hard right turn. This is like 12 years ago. I jumped in instantly. Oz is the other guy looking for his cigs. That was no help. And then Brady and Chopper were in my group. They came up about 10 seconds later, and they both just dove in instantly and started helping.
Yeah. So you hold on.
We
Brady.
did not finish our round.
You drove this cart directly into this pond.
Well,
you are a fucking menace behind the wheel, AJ. You drive with both feet. You sleep. Your hands are all deformed because of your broken fingers. You're driving golf carts into ponds. Straight up. Are you blacked out drunk in this thing?
No, I wish I was. That's the problem. I was not.
Sober.
Oh my God,
this guy. I was trying to get there.
Brady, how do you let this guy marry your sister? How do you let this guy marry your sister, Brady?
Let me add some more context to all of this, okay? This is at Rattlesnake Ridge. This was the first year, our first fundraiser for my foundation, the Third and Goal Foundation, which helps support wounded vets. So
Great
AJ
cause.
was kind enough to come out and obviously support the cause. Now, I guarantee you he was not sober for this because we actually took a party bus to Rattlesnake Ridge.
Oh, AJ, boozing and driving.
No one was sober at this thing.
What I'm saying is, I played many times with many more drinks in me and didn't wreck a cart, is all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Sure. All right. Chopper hopping in there, though. Is he scuba diving?
Well, he dove to the bottom and grabbed some clubs.
He did. He said all you had to do was open your eyes in that murky water and you could find whatever you need to down there. All those eyes were burning afterwards.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 15% off right now t-shirt of the day or merch piece of the day is from old Frankie Nicky Skates. Love this one, huh, Nick?
Absolutely love it. Can't get enough of it. This is the perfect shirt for summer, going into 4th of July especially.
Yeah, we're going to get a C&D on this.
Buy now, buy quick.
Store.patmcafeeshow.com, 15% off. I mean, we're actually showing them where we're ripping it from. This is a bad idea. This one was a bad idea.
In our defense, that's a news movie. That picture.
Yeah. Oh, Tom will let us.
Yeah, this shirt's been around a long time, and then now that I've watched it, we took quite some liberties to go ahead and just decide we could do that. But store.patmcafeeshow.com.
Go pick one up.
I might as well take that down. We are.
Should we re-release it with Rooster on it now?
No. Well, he will definitely know.
TC's got way too much stuff on his plate.
Yeah, it's currently getting sued by the original
Paramount.
Everybody,
Is he really?
Yeah, everybody's trying to get a settlement for a few million real quick. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Hey, you don't want to deal with this, right? Just give us $5-10 million. No big deal.
You'll make it back next week.
TC will fight to the death, though. That's what they don't know.
Yeah, true.
Really?
Oh yeah.
They do not.
You did not create
You're
that.
not getting a dime out of me.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Brock in Indianapolis. What's going on, Brock?
Pat, what's going on, boys?
Hey, Brock. Just hanging out. How are you, man? What do you want to talk about?
Hey, let's talk about the quarterback controversy in Tennessee. Is Tannehill getting replaced?
Whoa.
Is Malik taking over?
Whoa. What are you hearing, Brock? Why are you thinking that? No service. It's Indiana.
Yeah, he's just
happens all the time.
thinking.
Literally every time I talk to everybody,
Yeah.
just drops out of service. Is
How
that
has
the phone?
Malik been doing? Any reports out of there?
Good press conferences. I've seen good confidence out of him whenever he's talking. I haven't seen any video or any other reports, but it seems like he's feeling himself a little bit, which is good news. That's probably a good indicator of him being comfortable with the team.
Yeah, it feels like the bigger story is how affected Tannehill was by the loss. Like that he had to go to like therapy and really actually work through that to get past it.
Numerous times, he said.
Numerous times.
Like, is that the first time that's happened? Or is that like normal after the season for him?
No, he was saying this is the first time I had to do therapy and everything after that. So we might see a pissed off Tannehill.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a QB controversy right now. I think it's more so a motivated Tannehill with a third-round draft pick, fourth round. Third-round draft pick, Malik, who gets a chance to learn. And, third-round pick, you're safe for a year, 2 years. Then after that, who knows? So they probably have these plans of if Malik can learn from Tannehill got a $100 million deal with 3 years left, I think, on that thing.
Yeah.
It could end up pretty perfectly. And if you get a guy that had a first-round grade in everybody else's eyes, you get him in third round, why not? Let's go ahead and do this.
Yeah, and on the flip side, it's like Russ, Dak, and Kirk Cousins are the only three third-round picks who actually kind of really ascended right away and became great guys. So it's not like why would you be pushing Tannehill out the door when you've kind of seen what he can do and you're pot committed to him.
Yeah, they won't be able to push him out because how much they're paying him. But also, it doesn't matter because the Indianapolis Colts have Darius Leonard with a healthy ankle. So, hour 2 wrapping up right meow here on this glorious Thursday, June 9th, 2022. Hour 3, what are we going to do, AJ? Anything sweet?
Alex Caruso at 220.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
That's right.
Hit it.
So whenever we come back on the other side of this, don't be like, well, is Caruso coming on or not? He will be. It should be a great conversation. We'll see you in about 6, Sirius XM. Yeah, even got Sirius XM in there. Normally I forget about that.
That's it.
That's 2 for 2.
I feel like, two.
Yeah.
Yesterday we won 1 for 3. Today 2 for 2. I mean, this is baseball. The odds are even.
That's still, hey, if you're fucking hitting 3 of 5 over your last, 2 days, you're hot at the plate.
AJ, I'd like to let you know that we were not hot at the same game parlays. I had two, I had a 10 game or a 10 leg and then an 8 leg. I think I went 1 for 18 and my same game parlay long shot boost bonanza holiday yesterday. I don't know if anybody's going to hit one. Baseball's tough to bet on.
Yeah. Well, how many did you put together? You had a 10 leg and an 8 leg?
Yeah, I put plus 129,000 and plus 46,000 or something like that.
Yeah, I would say the odds are stacked against you, but I thought you maybe wouldn't you get excited if you had maybe 2 or 3 of them hit?
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't even get a chance to enjoy any of them. None of them happened.
That's the beautiful thing about parlays, though, right? It's risk reward.
Yeah, normally though you get at least a couple yeah, and you're like, oh, I should just bet those all by themselves, but I parlayed them to build the odds a little bit because how good they are. Yesterday was just no fun. My parlays had no fun at all.
You knew the Pirates were going to lose.
Knew the Pirates were going to lose, which I did hit, but the pitcher for the Pirates had
Threw a
fucking
gem.
7 strikeouts.
Yeah.
What? How's that happen? How's that happen?
Baseball seems impossible to know what's going to happen.
Well, that's what I told these guys yesterday. I hit one 2 days ago, the day before the Bonanza, and I've actually been doing pretty well on these, but anything above, I've hit a couple plus 282, plus 311. You get higher than that, there's just so much stuff, and there's no way you're going to win.
Plus 282 is good odds, by the way.
It's not bad.
If you hit a plus 282 or plus 300, you are pumped about it. The boys have figured out a way to bet on. It's just the first 5, I feel like, right? That's the answer for this whole thing, but that's not a parlay. That's just a shorter baseball, only betting on the starters, right?
Correct. And then I looked at my parlays yesterday. I went 6 and 2 and 8 and 2. So
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
what were the odds?
There was one team that was
the Yankees.
Yeah,
they fucked us.
Yeah,
the odds
7-game win streak.
were
Knew they were gonna-
plus 10,000 and plus 6,000.
I don't think those are going to win, are they?
How's Aaron Boone doing? Do they like him?
They're the best, right? They're the best team in baseball. So yeah,
Good. So people are on board with Aaron.
Yeah, right now. Mm-hmm.
What about the guy in Chicago, Old Rossi?
Who?
What about Ohtani? I haven't heard his
Cubs.
name all season.
Oh, they're coming out to Nickelback.
Yeah.
The Angels general manager or general whatever the
They've
fuck
lost
he is, the
15 in a
coach
row.
has
Fired
forced.
Joe Madden,
they lost 15 in a row. They have forced every player to come out to Nickelback as their walkout songs tonight. Then in
Hell
hopes
yeah.
to change the course of the team and what they've done. The only reason why I know that is because there was a picture of Ohtani And I was like, shit, Ohtani, I forgot he's even playing baseball. He was last year's star. And then the thing said, every Angels player must walk out to Nickelback song that because they lost 15 in a row.
Get him on.
He's still good.
Get him on.
Get him to Pittsburgh.
Red Sox just pissed on the Angels.
That can't be
They
serious,
suck.
right?
They're just trying to, hey, rally caps, flip the caps inside out.
Is
Hey,
it a
Nickelback.
joke? What do you mean?
Yeah, they're trying to break the juju. They've lost 15 in a row.
Scott Stapp can change it.
I don't think that's Nickelback.
No, but
Chad
Scott-
Kroger.
He could too.
Of course.
Both
Creed as
excellent
well.
voices.
Yeah.
Look at this photograph.
Every time I aim, it makes me laugh.
He didn't laugh in the song, though.
No.
So it wasn't every time.
He wasn't looking at the photograph.
But he was showing it to somebody else. He
Exactly.
was looking at the back of it.
Yes.
Because he was showing it in somebody's face. Look at this photograph. Every time it makes me laugh. Didn't want to.
Yeah.
All right, we're back in like 2.5 minutes or so. Hour 3, Alex Caruso. Some more phone calls on a 5 Energy phone line. And we'll break some news, won't we, AJ?
Oh yeah, cannot wait. Always hour 3 on Thursday. That's news breaking hour.
All right, let's go.
Hell
That's what
yeah.
we're going to
Now
do.
we
We're
go.
back in 2. Chin. Cheers. Jeez. You have my knee all night for this.
Oh my!
Wow.
Sheesh.
He's not yet found his swing this morning. Look at him. Are you fucking whispering right now?
The Miz.
By the way, love the show, Pat. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. You weren't talking to me? Hey, when you get sick of it, we understand. I don't like it because you hit a nice straight shot and it's like a small half swing. It's annoying. Let me show you how it's done, okay? Because you line up your ball. See, you have that little line there?
I can't do it.
Go like this. You look at it, check it out. You take a couple practice strokes, and then you just put the ball in the hole, like that.
Easy game.
It is an easy game. It was just a bit off. And there you go. That easy, guys. So after Tahoe, are you going pro?
There it is. It's in the hole.
Don't turn it on. Don't turn it on. You don't want it. Don't want it. You got a nice little hat on. You got your sunglasses. You got your ones that aren't even out yet. Don't turn it on. You can hang out with your boy Aaron Rodgers all day. What was that?
don't
7?
want it.
Is that a 7?
You don't want
You don't want it.
You don't want to turn it on.
You don't want me to turn it on.
You don't want me to flip the switch.
Flip the switch off and wait till Tahoe. Till Tahoe, buddy. Wait till Tahoe.
Maybe my knee will be at 80%.
Maybe.
What's up? This is called Could I Be Quarterback in the USFL? Basketball shot. Take one. You tell me.
Hell yeah.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat
What the fuck are
McAfee
you
Show
doing?
starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the show. Thursday, June 9th, 2022. Hour 3 of Sports Talk continues right now.
Yeah.
AJ Hawk to my left, your right. You have found, you've kind of settled into this costume of yours. I like it. I appreciate it. Do you feel like you have more energy because you're not using any energy to pick your costumes in the morning like me and Steve Jobs?
Yeah, a little bit. I have to credit you and Steve Jobs for, opening my eyes to this. Yes, I have probably 3 or 4 shirts in the rotation, and that's where I'm at.
You, much better dad than Steve Jobs. I hopefully one day be much better dad than Steve Jobs. But we're not talking about Steve Jobs as a fucking dad.
No.
We're talking about a guy that just changed the world. Now, he should have been a better dad too, okay? But sometimes whenever you're just investing time in changing the entire scope of the earth, like you're gonna leave some other things behind. The whole wear the same shit every day thing, brilliant.
Genius.
It's weird that he could do that for his wardrobe, but not for a fucking charger.
Well,
That ain't Steve, pal.
yeah.
A lot of money in dongles. Yeah.
How about try to plug in Foxy's computer earlier? iMac or Apple laptop. I grabbed somebody else's Apple laptop's charger. No, that one doesn't work on this one. What? How does that? No, they're like 1 year different. Oh yeah, different
Terrible.
size.
I think it is like $20 for a dongle.
It's a problem.
Yeah, we're going from USB to the mini USB now. Like that's all they sell from that. It's crazy.
They're raking it in.
The iPhones are removing that from when you buy it as well. Like that's being removed from the box. You have to go buy it.
When is Apple going to own a team? Think about the amount of cash they have fluid.
Yeah.
They have like 300 some billion fluid, I think, or something like that.
Tim Cook.
Zito just dropped a little stat in my ear. They have made $5 billion off the
That might have
chargers.
been accessories, but still, that's a lot.
No, probably just the chargers, bro. They got like
Huge
300
money.
Amount of
Huge
times
money
they
in that
break,
game,
too.
obviously.
And that store is always packed. People are either trying to learn more or trying to learn why they got fucked. And it just is a nonstop thing.
Yeah.
And they all got us on the ride. And we're just hoping that the next phone is a good phone
Amen.
and not just a good camera. That's what we're all
That's
hoping
right,
for.
because they did show the new iOS and it looks pretty sweet.
Sick. You
Yeah.
got an entire breakdown
Yeah,
of that
exactly.
thing. You can edit texts that you have sent, whether it's a grammatical error or an entire message that you might have accidentally sent out there in a mindset that you don't necessarily like.
You have like a time, in a certain amount of time after it went out, or what?
Well, I think you just go in there and get that thing if you want. You can. You'll be able to just pluck things out of pictures, I think, and isolate them.
5 different or 8
removes
different
the
home
backgrounds.
screens.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Can you delete a text that you accidentally sent to somebody if
Yes.
they haven't read it?
Uh-huh. And then it just says on it, like when you leave it, like for instance, when you left the group chat of all of us and it said AJ Hawk left the conversation, it'll just said like AJ Hawk unsent this message.
AJ Hawk unsent the message, you up from 2:30 a.m. You know, that's what it'll say instead. You know, let's dive.
That doesn't seem. I mean that doesn't work. Then that's not going to make.
No,
any
it
sense.
doesn't.
Well, it doesn't do the full message, but it does say like old buddy deleted message
Yeah,
at
so that- right.
7:15 a.m. this morning.
Bingo.
That was sent at 4:45 or whatever. Like, yeah, I think Apple is trying to look out.
I might do that on purpose. I'm going to start doing it on purpose just to keep people on their toes. Like send late night. Oh, unsent something. Oh no, what's going on?
What did AJ Hawk wake up to take a piss like 2 a.m. Send a text. You wake up at 4 a.m. because you're a maniac. Delete the text. Somebody will have 2 notifications from AJ Hawk by the time they want to sleep, and they're like, "Well, what did you send me at 2 a.m. and what?"
I
did
can't
you?
wait for this new iOS to come out.
Yeah, you know, imagine you fucking with Aaron with this. Oh, what did
No,
you
he'll
send,
see
bro?
that. He'll see this. So I would never use this for him.
What?
He'll see this clip. So just I want to let him know it's not me if this happens to him in the future.
Does he watch? There's no way he watches the show.
He definitely sees clips and things because he will definitely text me when he thinks he wants to claim like he's upset at me for saying something about him.
He's vaxxed. He's vaxxed now. What do you mean?
We do
You'll
have
see
breaking
those.
news. Aaron Rodgers is vaccinated. What you do? You did that 3 weeks ago or whatever with a straight.
You asked me. I didn't bring it up. You said, "What's Aaron doing? What's he doing?"
Yeah, that's what I asked. Is he vaccinated? That's exactly. Yeah, it was
No,
my
you
fault.
didn't. I said, I said he was vaxxed.
He was being facetious.
That's what I'm. Yeah. Anyways.
Yes.
But you never corrected that, by the way. Still to this day, I assume that is something that he has thought about. What's he up to?
Maybe.
Hey, what's he up to? He's got anything going on? I'm getting a lot of tweets about him right now.
Yeah, what's going on?
Getting a lot of tweets.
What's he doing? They're gearing up. What are his odds for Tahoe? Is he going to win?
Well, I think they're magically getting better.
Yeah, he might win.
They're getting
I
better.
see what you're doing here.
What? What?
What are you talking about?
What do you think people that don't use the internet as much think we're talking about?
Good question.
That's great. Go ahead, tweet us what you're
For them to find out.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to the 5 Energy phone. Is he good, though? Haven't talked to him in a while. Good?
Seems great. I'm sure he is.
All right, congrats.
All right, good.
There you go.
See you in Tahoe, pal. I can't wait to get out there, pal. My knee's feeling unbelievable. You saw me with that game ready last night, AJ?
I did. I didn't know if that was you. Honestly, I thought it was General Bob for a minute. I was like, the only other guy that does this is General Bob.
That's what I'm saying. Game ready is a very if you know type thing. And I think mostly because of how expensive it is, only other professional athletes that have dealt with either knees or ankles, I believe, they have them for everything, truly understand the greatness of that fucking machine, AJ. That thing is it's game ready. It's a game changer for me. I was so happy to get I got a chance to get I think my dad stole mine, okay? And he sent a text to Zeke yesterday. He was like, "Oh, I got a game ready." It's like, well, who'd you get that from, Tim? I assume it was me. I've had this hurt knee for 2 weeks, but nonetheless, Tim's been busy working on stuff, getting a Thunderdome together.
Let's go.
Yeah, baby Tim.
Which is amazing and that other thing. But I got another game ready, and I strapped into that thing last night. I forgot about its greatness. Just compression and cold.
You want to explain it? You want to explain it for someone that doesn't know?
Okay, so it's a brace basically. It's a knee brace for me it's a knee brace. They have them for I think ankles, elbows, everything like that. And I think it originally was on racehorses. I think this originally started on racehorses, and then it kind of got made into humans being able to do it. It's a brace that is hollow and it can fill up, and then you have this machine that you fill up with ice and water, and then it flushes the cold water into the knee brace to add compression to your knee and cold water getting cycled through there. And it comes in waves. So it's trying to like push out any inflammation or fluid that you have in there. So it's the perfect machine. I found it, as somebody who doesn't have great knees, the perfect machine for my knee, and it was great to get back in there yesterday. I forgot how great it was. Immediately afterwards, with how cold your fucking knee is, it's ice cold. You can't really feel much. It feels like it's a hundo immediately afterwards. I love it, AJ. I assume you do as well.
Yeah. I don't have one, but it's huge post-surgery, really. That's the biggest thing. Chopper, my father-in-law, had a knee replacement like 5 weeks ago, and he was using Kelly, my wife's sister, her game ready because she had 15 knee surgeries. So
15?
She had like 3 or 4 ACLs. She had multiple like bone grafts, different things.
Savage.
Drilling holes to try to grow cartilage, all that stuff.
The knees are an interesting thing, and I had knee. You did as well. My knees hurt in high school, so I think I kind of knew early that I was
good. I think I've told you. Like I tore my PCL my first game my senior year in high school. Got scoped, started taking cartilage out. Got scoped every year after that until I got done with college. So I got a lot of cartilage chunked out of there, different parts of my knee, but I learned how to take care of myself. Like at 18, 19, I knew like, hey, this is going to hurt all the time. Let's do whatever we can to feel as good as we possibly can.
Yeah, see, you took that route. I was like, give me the pizza, give me the beers. I need to drink away and enjoy myself because these knees hurt so bad. So that's two different ways to go about it, of course.
I'm saying it's good to where all of a sudden it wasn't like I got hurt for the first time when I was 28 and I didn't know how to handle a little knee pain.
Concur completely. And did you get, what's that, Osgood Slaughter, the big bump on the knee? Mm-hmm. I had that as a kid as well. Did you have that?
No, I did not.
Oh, that was a pain in the ass.
What is that?
I don't know. I think it's a growth.
It's growth. Yeah, where you're growing. Yeah, too fast.
Do you cut it out or does it just go away?
I think it just goes away. Mine kind of went away. I didn't get it as bad as some other people. Some people get it like super bad. I had just like a little bitty.
What is it, muscle over bone?
I don't know.
And you got to wear that band like right on.
You're all so young. Like we're all so young when it happens, so nobody really, I don't think anybody remembers exactly what it is.
So many young kids are getting big surgeries now. I know my buddy's an orthopedic, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm doing ACLs on 11, 12-year-olds.
Jesus. Why is that? Is that not normal?
Because they're specializing in dumb sports and specializing in dumb training and not learning how to be a fluid athlete.
Because I didn't think you could tear your ACL at that age. I just assumed your body is just too good.
Rubber.
Like, hey, here we go. We could do everything. I mean, the shit that we were doing to our bodies as kids, I don't know how. I just assumed your body couldn't break at that age.
Just jump off roofs and shit.
All the time.
As long as you tumble when you hit the ground, you're good.
Mm-hmm. Man, we used to hop on some bikes.
Doing sweet tricks on my dyno or mongoose.
Exactly.
Pegs on the front and back.
Boom. You had pegs on both sides?
Pegs on front and back. That was my dream. I only had back pegs. I had front pegs for a minute.
I was about to say, geez.
Good for you.
Plus, we were kind of like UFC fighters with that, where the fucking pedal would spin around and hit our shins, so our shins were fucked.
Oh, yeah.
So bad. That would hurt so bad. But you do it all the time because it made such a sweet sound.
Yeah.
Man.
Take a fair amount of skin off, though.
Watch that Carolina Panthers schedule release, okay, to know what it was like back in the day. I had no idea that you could even tear an ACL at that age. That's crazy to me. Huh?
I don't think you can.
Sounds like a bunch of bullshit. There's a lot of people that operate without ACLs. Like hockey players, there's hockey players that don't have any ACLs. I had a football teammate that didn't have an ACL. I'm like,
Hines Ward.
Yeah.
Hines Ward didn't know.
Phil Rivers played that championship game without it.
Yep.
Against Colts?
I
believe.
New England.
Yeah, it might have been New England.
It wasn't. He beat the Colts in the divisional, I thought.
Oh, the year before?
No, same year with the no ACL.
Got it. And then he went on to. So that game wasn't Phil Rivers that won that game. That was Mike Cyphers that won the game. If that was the year before I got drafted.
Cyphers put on a show.
Mike Cyphers had like 7 or 8 punts inside the 5 with like a 60-some yard average or something like that.
Where did he go?
What do you mean?
After that, why wasn't he there anymore?
He was there. They got rid of Hunter Smith was just a casualty, I guess. And that when the punter for the Colts was like, I guess it was an easy decision for them to make. They could explain like, the field position battle was lost mightily, but I don't think Hunter could have kept. They drafted me to keep up with that guy. I don't think I would have been able to keep up with a 760 with inside the 5. He won that game, though. Like, Cyphers won that game, and I was drafted the next year. I got a chance to sit next to Mike Cyphers. I think it's either my rookie year, you'd have to look up if we played in 2009 or 2010. I don't remember what year it was. Maybe my first year. I don't know. I sat next to him and just watched him at warm-ups, and I was like, oh, I'm fucked in this league. Like, like this dude is just...
Was it just booming it, or was it placement? What was it?
Murdering footballs. I just... His legs were huge. He was swinging as hard as he possibly could at every single... Which I respected. I thought I did that as well. But he was hitting it clean every single time. And he was certainly dunking on me, trying to, like, in person. And I had nothing but respect for it afterwards. But I remember walking back into the locker room after warm-ups being like... I don't know if I'm going to be in this league for that long. After what that fucking guy, I ain't never going to be able to do what that guy did. Turns out once you become like an adult and a grown man, it does help in the strength that you have. But Mike Cyphers was an absolute guy. Never gets talked about because he just kind of disappeared. I assume he's on some field somewhere. I think he's in South Carolina, maybe. I don't know. Just bombing footballs and probably being a dad right now.
How much older than you was he?
Good bit. He was a good bit older.
Like, remember Reggie Roby?
Reggie Roby.
Fucking Waterloo Island.
Or like a Timex
stud. Yeah, because his hang time was so good.
Is that why he wore it? That's the only reason he was my favorite punter, because he wore a watch.
I think it was because of the hang time thing, yeah. But it would be very difficult. I love Reggie Roby. This is not a knock, but it would be very difficult to get an accurate hang time if you were to drop the ball.
Was he saying he was doing his hang time?
I don't know. That's what people said. His hang time was so good. He was a fucking animal, though, that guy. Stud athlete. There's a lot of greats. But at one point in California, Mike Cyphers, Andy Lee, Shane Leckler. Okay? Like those three. Andy Lee's still doing it. Cyphers and Leckler will go down. All three of those will go down as like, but for, I don't know, probably 7 years, they were just in the same division over there, bombing balls against each other. It's like, holy fuck. Weather's nice. How you doing? Keep it moving.
It's kind of like the kickers in the AFC North now.
Yes.
They all just studs.
A lot of studs in the AFC North, and that is a miserable place to kick.
Yeah.
Good luck to all of them.
Go get them out there.
Good luck to all of them. Let's go to the 5 Energy phone line, see what the people are talking about. Let's go to Nick in Atlanta. What's going on, Nick? Go to 5energy.com. Use promo code McAfee to receive 10% off your order of all the delicious 5 Hour Energy flavors that'll get you from A to B. A being where you're at right now. B, energized.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to 5 Hour Energy. What do you want to talk about, brother?
Just the fact that my Ohio State Buckeyes are going to win the Natty this year, that's all.
CJ Stroud is out there in a G-Wagon driving around Columbus. He ain't going to be able to be focused enough to win a national championship, Nick. Sorry about it, pal.
That G-Wagon's going to take him to Columbus, to the Natty game, and then back to Columbus with the trophy. That's all I know.
I respect that. That's a Bentley. It has been since upgraded that from this dealership, he got a G-Wagon that's worth $200,000 as opposed to this Bentley that's only $130,000.
Oh.
So it was a game time decision when he showed up. The G-Wagon was available. The Bentley that he thought he was going to get is available, and he went with the G-Wagon. As somebody that potentially owned a Bentley at one time, good decision. Yeah. I have never been in a G-Wagon. Good decision, though, on that particular thing. And by the way, I love that he is just working with a dealership, getting the nicest car they got. 1 month he'll return it because he'll be able to do this for the rest of his life. And on the back end of it, the license plate will say Ohio State legend.
Yep.
Just like this guy has done well into his damn near 40s at Ohio State. This is awesome, AJ.
It's a very, very nice car that he will be driving. So, are they still making G-Wagons?
No,
obviously.
that's why they're so expensive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why they're so expensive. I just learned this last couple of days.
Look at him just backing up on the curb.
Graham Rahal.
They're not making those?
You know who Graham Rahal is? No, they stopped making them. That's why they're so
out of Columbus.
expensive. You know Graham Rahal?
Yeah, they're here in Columbus.
He's a big Buckeye fan. Big Buckeye fan. I love Graham Rahal. Graham Rahal has been very good to me. Very, very good to me. I enjoy Graham Rahal as a person.
Okay. But
some of the prices he texts me for some of the cars he sells, I'll get Graham. Come on. Graham.
Really?
I was looking at his.
I only buy cars with Graham, basically, because.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, his family has,
What about when you go to an auction and you overpay by $80,000 or $90,000?
Well, that's part of it. That's the whole thing. He has sent me texts afterwards being like, what are you doing, man? Like, like that whole stuff. So he's been in the car business his whole life because his dad, I believe, had dealerships in Pittsburgh and Ohio and all over the place. Now he has his own. He is great. He has been awesome for me. Graham Rahal has been awesome for me, but some of these return text messages on prices of cars that he's selling. I did not expect to have that many commas. What are we doing here, pal? What is that?
Cars are all super expensive. You want to get like a loaded Tahoe, isn't that $100K?
Yeah.
And he said,
At least.
hey, that's the price to play a game now these days. He basically said with the way everything's going, and I trust, respect him, but I did not expect the number that came back, and it got introduced into the $200,000 that guy's G-Wagon, CJ Stroud, that he's getting over there. $200,000 that G-Wagon. It probably at one point was 100 and something, and then now with there being 0 cars available anywhere, supply chain being done, international relations, I think, going down, the prices are everything's just going to go up. At what point does the price of everything going up stop? You know?
Yeah.
Everything is getting more and more and more and more expensive.
Probably never. I'd like to get someone should give an Ohio State player an H1, the old school original Hummers, like that Arnold used to drive.
Yeah, those things are
Hell
sick.
Yeah.
Coach Diggs used to have, was it the H1 or H2?
2.
Yeah, he had the 2. He had the 2, which was a little bit more feasible. The H1 was getting like, 1 mile per gallon, I think?
On a good day.
Yeah, 2 got 8, maybe 7 to 8 of them there.
Yeah, but you could mount a 50 cal on the roof.
Bro, Coach Diggs coming down the street in that thing. Yellow, right? Yeah.
No, it was white.
White. Yellow was the
Corvette.
Yeah, the vet. Sorry. Whenever Coach Diggs would come by, you heard him, you saw him. Like, hey, here's Coach. Hey, baby. He had his bike tights on. Let's go to the phone before we get Alex Caruso on here for the first time in the history of this show. Let's go to Ryan in San Diego. Ryan, what's going on?
How we doing, boys?
Keep moving, Ryan. What are you doing, man?
All right. Well, hey, speaking of Hummers, do you think that this whole Deshaun Watson thing could have been avoided if they simply shipped him to a state where that kind of sex stuff was legal, like Las Vegas?
All right.
Is that legal there?
All right, Ryan.
Prostitution is.
In like certain areas, right?
It's a good transition, though.
It was.
Can't blame Ryan. That was very good. You know what I mean?
It was right there for him.
Just don't need to be. Because that was Harden, Rusty.
Yeah.
That's what he said on that interview publicly in front of people that are listening about a subject that the whole world is watching. Well, if you go get a massage and your penis happens to explode cum and you didn't pay anything extra, like that's not illegal.
Nope.
You should sleep soundly. That's basically what he said. That's what that guy said.
Yeah.
In an open interview.
Was that in a courtroom?
No, radio station.
He was on a radio show.
But can
I
be
know,
admitted
it was a little more
into-
graphic than I
admitted
thought
into
when
it.
you read it back to me.
If you spill your children on that massage table and you didn't pay anything, that is not illegal at all. And everybody was like, yeah, it is. What is this guy? And then boom, 24th allegation. And then 66 in 17 months show up in the New York Times. I don't understand how this is all happening. It's a wild story. Joining us now is a man from the great state of Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Guy who's been in jail in Texas.
What?
Whoa.
Now he's a champion in Texas. A member of the Chicago Bulls, an absolute stallion, paisano, Alex Caruso.
What did I walk into?
We're talking about happy endings and legalities of them and all that stuff, Alex.
That was a great intro, but that was a great 60 seconds prior to the intro to just get me jump started into the show.
Well, it's great to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. I thought I spent enough time separating you from the explosion of semen, but I guess not. You know, I guess you were.
The buffer was not big enough, apparently.
All right, can you take him off the screen real quick? Hey, AJ, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm pretty good, dude. I'm pretty excited. Ty, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Connor, life?
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, big win last night.
Huge win for
You guys
the
losing
Celtics.
Boston, but it's big. Tone, how you feeling, man?
Couldn't be better.
Hey, me too. Joining, you know why I'm so pumped up?
What's that?
First time guest.
What?
Yeah, first time guest on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, a member of the Chicago Bulls, Alex Caruso.
Yeah!
Much better. Much better.
All right, hey, how you doing, man? How's the off season? What are you up to? Are you down in Texas? Are you in Chicago? What do you got going on?
Yeah, no, I'm down in Texas. Bought a house in Austin in the off season, so I'm down here just, working out, playing golf, hanging with my dog, doing what Texas kids do, I guess.
The golf. Are you a member at any country clubs? Is there any success that we need to talk about? A potential call that happened today?
No official. I mean, the steps are in order. I just, there's some. The first step is taking place. We gotta go 2 and 3, and then we'll be
AJ, I was so baffled. This dude's in the NBA. He's playing in Tahoe for the first time coming up in a month from now. Can't wait to see him out there. He just moved to Austin. He told me the other day, I got to go meet with somebody to see if I can become a member at this court. You can. You're fucking Alex Caruso. Yeah. You could just pay the money. You're there. I don't understand what the deal is. Is this some super secret course?
No, it's a nice course. It's one of the nicer ones in Austin, Spanish Oaks Country Club. But yeah, I took the tour today. They got a brisket. They got a guy just out there cooking a bunch of meat on hole 7, just brisket, jalapeno cheese sausage. Tested that out.
Oh, what?
It got the seal of approval for the born and raised Texas kid. So yeah, as soon as we can get this stuff, the process a little hurried up, I'm excited to get out there and take advantage of that.
Hey, shout out to Spanish Oaks. Shout out. Hey, let's get this thing done. He's Alex Caruso. Texas guy's going to be playing golf in front of the world about a month from now. How's your game? You a player? I assume you're a stick. Great athlete.
Yeah, so we've talked previously, right? So I'm like a mid-80s guy, right out of the season. Haven't played a lot, coming off of wrist surgery. We're coming in fresh. I did pop off a nice little 81 yesterday.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah. Raise some eyebrows. That's not the median though. The median's probably like mid-80s.
Good word.
Who do you normally play with? Like any of your teammates? Any good?
I played with Zach before. He's new to it, a couple years in, but I mean he's so athletic. Like give him like a year or two, he's gonna probably be in the 80s too. Matt Thomas, one of the guys that was one of our reserve players this year. I played with him a bunch. And then I played with, in the bubble, I played a bunch with JR and then Kuz and then a couple of our assistants. Dude, honestly, COVID kind of swept the golf bug into the NBA. And I know a bunch of people have started playing a lot more just because of, that was the only thing you could do for a year and a half.
Okay, so this is a good conversation starting point here. The bubble obviously had no fans. Then it became like partial fans. Did guys get comfortable without the fans there and with more space around the court? And now the fans have been completely integrated back into the sport. Is there a beef between players and fans? Is that just a normal thing? Because what happened last night with Draymond and Clay being like, this isn't classy and everything, it's Boston. Like that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's Boston. What do you expect?
Yeah. So is that a thing though? Is there some, because you guys are more intimate with the fans than any other sport, I think.
Yeah.
And that's a real relationship that I feel like we only learn about when it goes bad. Is there real conversation around the league about that?
It's just highlighted right now, right? It's the finals. Boston hasn't been there in however many years. Their fans are traditionally pretty rowdy. I don't think that's like a new thing if you follow basketball. Like everybody knows Boston's a little crazy. They get their beers in pregame. We'll just put it like that. They don't hold back. But no, the bubble was fun just because it was almost like, glorified pickup to a point because there's no fans, right? So it feels like a little bit like the summer. But then once they throw the ball up, the games got back to being NBA games, and you're like, oh, okay. Now I got to guard Damian Lillard, so I should probably focus up a little bit. But the fan interaction, my bad, AJ. The fan interaction just is what it is. Like you're gonna get that in any sport. You just can't always hear them in football because there's 80,000 to 60,000 people and you're 50 yards away from the field.
Why do you think we see it so more? Or at least, I guess, because social media, whatever, it could always be happening. Now we just see it more. But is it partly because they sell every seat possible? Like your head coach is sitting here, and there's 5 randoms that paid $50,000 to have the seats between like the press, the little booth, and the end of your bench. Like you guys don't even have anywhere to sit.
Yeah, to be honest, some places I really hate playing just because like the last seat on the bench, you literally are knocking knees with whoever pays money for that baseline seat far right next to the bench. Like you got some dude over there just drinking, Miller Lite, yelling some obscenities, and you're over here like trying to focus, play a game. That there's a couple arenas. Boston's one of them. Phoenix is one of them. Of course. Golden State's one of them, where you just are like you're literally in the fan's lap, and like other than that, I really don't give a shit. It's like you can put fans wherever you want. Like they're fans, they're gonna do what they do. You kind of like that's kind of part of like comes with the territory, right? Like you got to be a professional athlete. You got to deal with that. But yeah, the ones at the end of the bench are the ones that really bug me. The ones next to the scores table, those ones aren't that bad.
Those are what the showcase or superstar seats or whatever. They're at every arena, the opposite of the hard camera. Yeah. It's like 4 or 5 seats, and they charge like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for those seats. Yeah. But you're going to get on TV. You're going to be on TV. You're going to be able to do whatever you want to do. Let's talk
street cred up.
Yeah, get your street and market something if you want to. If you want to market anything.
Big branding opportunity.
Big, especially for old Caruso there, huh? Maybe get yourself some. No.
I'm on the court, so you know.
Hey, at what age did you know you were going to make the NBA? Did you? Because I feel like my take on the NBA is much smaller community because there's obviously less guys on the team, but also it's almost like you know whether somebody's going to be in the NBA or not. Did you know your entire life, and how many of these guys have you known since you were a kid playing?
No, I really didn't know. So I was a late bloomer. My career was kind of cyclical. Like high school, I was a late bloomer, went D1, and then college, I played a little bit. We weren't very good. Bloomed late into like a professional prospect. But even then, like, I had to go to the G League for a whole year, and then I had to play two-way. I think probably after the summer league, where I kind of like jumped onto the scene when I was playing with the Lakers. That was kind of when I like figured it out. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna keep working. I'll get a little better, and I'll eventually make it. But no, I wasn't like a top 10 recruit in the country. I wasn't the McDonald's kid. I didn't really know until I knew, until they like let me have the contract and a pin and was like, hey, sign this. I was like, all right, cool. Now I'm in.
Oh, so I'm signing an NBA contract. I thought this was potential.
Sweet. So now I'm allowed on the court in a uniform. Got it.
How was it playing with Bron in the Lakers? It seemed like you were beloved by that entire squad, and obviously LeBron's name automatically draws reactions from people because he has been a superstar since he's like 13, 14 years old and has been able to handle it all. What was your relationship like with him, and how would you describe him that maybe people wouldn't necessarily say or see from the outside looking in?
Yeah, I have a great relationship with him. Everyone sees the basketball stuff, right? You see the plays and the alley-oops and the passes and stuff. We had a really good chemistry on the court of just like reading, taking advantage of other teams. That's something that he does at the highest level, most elite level, and then I'm pretty good at it, and I'm getting better the more I play, more years I get under my belt. But we just had a good connection. And then off the court, man, he's just one of the guys. He's in the group chat just like everybody else. He's actually a really big jokester. Like you can kind of tell a little bit through like his social medias, like he's kind of a goofball, but he just is like a big ass kid, and he just happens to be the brainiac that he is in the business world. But like basketball wise, he's just another guy on the team, cracks jokes, shows up to shoot around, all the other stuff. Obviously I'm a little biased because, he helped me win a championship. So that was like, I hold him in high regard, but yeah, from the outside looking in, people are always going to hate greatness. That's just kind of how it is. There's people that hate Tom Brady for some reason when there's really no reason to. It's one of those things where you're on his team, you love him. You're not on his team, you kind of hate him.
Would you like to see LeBron end up playing with his son here in a couple of years? I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Well, you forget he's got a couple of sons, and the way he's going, he might be able to play with, both of them. The dude's a freak, man. He's an animal. Like, I don't know. He figured it out. Whatever the code is, whatever the health and wellness, like he's just a really smart guy in general. People don't give him credit for how smart he is, just in life. He's got a great brain, and he's figured out how to keep his body in top shape, and then his discipline to do that is it's ridiculous.
What happens? What year are you going into next year?
Year 6.
You feeling older? I know you had that wrist injury that kept you out a little bit. We're all very bummed about it. But are you starting to have to do anything different for your body? Because the NBA is so much running. Yeah. So much running, travel, a lot of games. Mentally, it's probably exhausting. Have you had to change or adapt? And did LeBron help you with that at all? Because it feels like that's his biggest weapon to be able to maintain the level that he's maintained for all these like decades now at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Being around, when I was in LA for those 2 years where I was on a regular contract with him, we won the championship, and then the year after, just being around professionals, like guys that have spent a decade plus in the league, Danny Green, Rondo, Dwight Howard, Bron, AD, it just rubs off on you. When you see them in there before everybody else, and then they're getting their work in, taking care of their bodies, watching the diet, getting the recovery. It really taught me how to be a pro, And then this year, I think I averaged somewhere around 30 minutes a game, and that's the first time, my professional career, maybe since the G League, but, it doesn't compare to the NBA, just playing that many minutes. So for me, this year was kind of a learning experience to figure out, how much I need to eat, when I need to sleep, when I need to get my massages, when I need to do the ice bath. So, it's all just a learning experience. You got to figure out what works for you. Everyone's different, but, learning how to be a pro, now 28, going into 6th year, I think I pretty much know how to do it. Like, I'm more excited for the next 5-6 years than I am, the last 5.
Steph Curry completely changed the game. And have you guys acknowledged that within the league? It's a whole new game now, it feels like, since Steph has kind of come onto the scene. Now, I'm not saying he's the only shooter, but the NBA is much different than it was, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and it's only evolving even more. When you watch him play and when you watch Golden State play, do you think, like other teams, this is what teams are going to try to do in the future, or is he an alien?
Yeah, the game's already gone that way. I was watching random highlights. I can't remember who it was, just from, late 2000s before the 2010s. And you got a center, you got Ben Wallace, who does nothing but rebound, block shots, set screens, dunk. And then you have a power forward who might shoot threes, but more than likely shoots 15-foot jump shots and then rebounds and does all that. The game is just, it's so much different. If you don't have a 5-man that can step out and shoot threes, or at least one that comes off the bench where you can play a small five-guy lineup, there's just not enough space on the court anymore. It was, like you said, Steph kind of ruining the game, changing the game. He's shooting it from 30 feet, and he's making it at a 50% clip if you don't guard him. It just stretches the floor out, so you have to have guys that can guard multiple positions. You have to have guys that can switch. You have to have guys that can do multiple things, rebound, dribble, pass. It's really just, it's becoming more and more positionless basketball, right? There's no traditional centers. There's no traditional small forwards, point guards, where it was point guard brings the ball up, runs the play, shooting guard and small forward are kind of scoring, and then the bigs are setting screens and rebounding. That doesn't exist anymore.
Huh.
What's your off season look like? I know basketball players talk about they get together and play pickup games with other pros or college people, and always is there something that you like to work on every off season to try to improve?
Yeah, that's part of it. At this point, from my background, going undrafted, G League, two-way to the NBA, it's every year I had to do something in the summer to try and get better, right? To learn, to try and improve, because I was trying to make a team. I was trying to make it into the league. So that's just kind of the DNA I have now, is I think I have a little bit of a perfectionist complex, to where it's if I'm not doing something, then I feel like I'm being passed or something. And that's I guess that's the best trait you can have as a pro athlete, right? Just work on the discipline, work on the drive. Once you get it, from there, it's just about showing up and putting in the work. So for me, every off season, there's something that the last year I'll write specific games down throughout my notes in my phone or something, and put it in my computer to where I can remember. It's all right, I remember that game. I did X, Y, and Z. It's okay, now I remember that's what I gotta work on this summer. So you said there's 82 games. You're not gonna remember something that happens in November and April when you're getting ready for playoffs.
How do you feel about the shot right now? Is the shot good? What are we working on? Handles?
Shot feels good. Shot feels really good.
Really?
Ooh.
Still got it?
Had a good day on the court yesterday. I got one coming up in a couple hours now. But I told you, that's just part of the basketball. In the off season basketball, everybody that plays in the league is Steph Curry.
Why?
Because it's just there's no rules, there's no structure. You're literally just out there like a kid again, where you're just hooping for the fun of it. And there's some people who are good enough to translate that into the NBA. They Steph, LeBron, Dame Lillard, Jason Tatum. There's some people who are just, God-given ability to be able to play like that all the time. And then there are people like me who play a good role, do what they're supposed to do, work on their game in the off season, and then show up to open runs and play like I played at the rec center in college.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'5".
It's not, if you were just 6'3" or 6'4", you could walk into any of these open gyms and they'd be like, the bald white. Yeah, that's the last. And then just light it up.
You think at this point I can walk into a gym and someone at a basketball gym, someone's going to recognize me, especially in Texas.
Who are you playing against? Are you playing with anybody else, or do you just?
No, I'm just working out. I'm not playing any pickup yet.
Where do you work out? Your own gym? Go to college gym, Austin, Texas, somewhere? What do you do?
Nah, the guy I'm working out with, he actually could get into the UT gym. And I told him, I was like, hey man, I prefer not. Like that's being an A&M guy. It kind of goes against the code of ethics that I grew up with. So it's just, hoopers just need a gym. It's like you finding a random field and kicking footballs into the sky. Like you just need a basket, some lines, and a couple basketballs. So middle schools, some private schools, high schools, wherever you can get in, you fit in.
It would be awesome just roll into one gym and all of a sudden the guy is just like, that dude's 25 or 30 right now. Like those workouts are just a much different level. There's levels to this shit. We're talking Alex Caruso, the Chicago Bulls. How do you feel about the Bulls? What was it like to play for such a legendary program like the Chicago Bulls? Not that the Lakers weren't, but you became a guy for the Chicago Bulls. Went on an electrifying run towards the end of the season, I do believe. What do you feel about? How do you feel about the Bulls, and what was your time like there last year?
It was good. Getting used to the city. I knew that, everyone knows the history of the Bulls, especially with The Last Dance came out, like everybody learned the ins and outs of, the true history of them. So that was fun to do and get to know before I showed up. But just, the fans in general, they're good sports fans. Chicago citizens, they understand the game. They understand football, baseball, basketball. Like they know what a good play is, what a bad play is. Like there was a couple of games this year where we got booed because we played like shit, and I was like, yeah, well, that's pretty fitting. Like I would see me too. And it's just one of those things where it's like you just show up the next day and get right back to it. But I love playing in Chicago. I love Billy Donovan. I love our front office. I love our team. We had great guys. It was a year of a lot of adversity for our team. We went through we were the first team to get really like wiped out by COVID in November. Then we had, we lost Pat Williams, second or third year players, like the number 5 pick, who was going to be our starting power forward. Lost him like second game of the year. I had some injuries. Zach was injured. Lonzo was injured. It was just a rough year, outside of the actual content of basketball. But the product on the court and the basketball part was a lot of fun.
I can't wait to see what you guys do next year. Zito got all excited about the Bulls being back. Zito loves it, absolutely loves it.
Zito's my guy.
Is he?
Shout out to Zito, yeah, one time.
Oh, yeah.
I had a baby Zito.
If I ever see Grayson Allen, I'm smacking the shit out of him, too.
right in the mouth.
Right in the fucking mouth.
Do you and him have quite a battle? Is that why he hurt you? Like there can only be one white out here at the time?
He's a punk.
No, I have an inside joke with my friends. It's like, the white guys got to stick together in the league because there's only like 8 of us or 10 of us. No, it was just a bad play. And the worst part about it was like he reached out to apologize, but it was just like a little late in the season. So I was like, all right, don't worry about it. Like I'll just talk to him after the season. And then we played him in the playoffs. I'm like, all right, this is perfect. Like into the series, like I'll just talk to him, like, hey, bro. No ill will, like I'm not gonna, forgive you for it, but like I don't have any, like I don't wish bad upon the man. Like I don't like. I don't like. Yeah, I know you do, Zito, but I don't wish. Like I hate seeing guys get injured. You know, like I want guys to be able to be healthy, play basketball, earn their money, do whatever they got to do. But yeah, so then I had the concussion game 5 and we lost game 5, and I couldn't say anything to him. So I guess I need to reach back out.
Hey, Grayson, there's no beef, even though a lot of people say you're just a fucking asshole.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Not him. He's the only one not saying it.
More or less words.
More or less. Go ahead, Ty.
Alex, how long does it take when you get from like the G League into the actual league? Like how long does it take to acclimate to the speed and the skill of the game, and then from going from that point to like actually making an impact in the games?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's night and day, right? Like I think G League's probably somewhere between high level college and the NBA. It's probably close to a couple of the overseas leagues that are really elite, that are really good as far as talent wise. But yeah, man, I mean that whole first year I spent in the G League was me just learning how to play professional basketball.
What's different?
Well, in college, I'm playing point guard, and I'm looking over the sideline like, hey, coach, what play are we running? And then I'm walking the ball up. You got 30 seconds, and I'm like, hey, 4 down, and then getting everybody in order and going. It's like the NBA. If you got an advantage, you just take it and go. Like you don't wait for permission to do something. In most cases, there are some coaches that are like super old school that want you to run a bunch of plays every time. But for the most part, it's like quick.
Are those coaches
action.
still around? Are they able to be in the league anymore?
Yeah, I mean they're far and few in between, but yeah, there's still some. Like I think Rick Carlisle's a big play caller. I think Thibodeau's like that. I think there's only a few though. The league's shifting to younger coaches that I think are more, player relationships and like understand the change of the game. Like we just talked about, like the game's different than what it was 10, 15 years ago.
Looks like Jim Carrey though, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's good. He's funny, probably.
Yeah, he won the Paso, and he's here in Indy. Why don't you come? Hey, we'll get you out of that dump of Chicago. Come on down to Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay, well, easy there, easy.
Yeah. Chicago, great city. How many headbands do you go through during the season? I've seen you become a big-time headband guy. Is that because your big bald dome glistens off of people's faces and eyes, or why is that?
It was before the full shave, but it was we'll give a quick shout out to JaVale McGee. He was the one who originally told me. I was like, dude, you should rock the headband. I was like, all right, I'll try it out. And then I played good, and then he started doing the little celebration thing, and it just kind of stuck. So we went through it. I got to give a shout out to our equipment guy, Steve. He was with you in Indianapolis.
Steve.
Shout out, Steve.
Good dude.
And I talked to him yesterday on FaceTime. I FaceTimed him because I needed him to send me some shoes from the gym. And he told me to tell you hello, so I've got to make
Steve's
sure I do
good
that.
dude. Steve is a good dude for us. I assume the same for you guys, yeah.
Yeah, the best.
Okay, awesome.
But yeah, the headband just kind of stuck. I go through 2 a game, right? Because I'm a heavy sweater, right? So some people change jerseys at halftime. I got to switch headbands because that thing it's gross. By the time we get to the locker room, I've played 15 minutes already, so I'm full sweat, and there's nothing to catch it, so it's going straight onto the headband. So 2 a game, 100 or 82 games, maybe some playoffs, so maybe 200 headbands.
You should do something with those, obviously, but wash them first. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, definitely wash them.
Are you watching the finals right now, and what do you think is going to happen in this one? I know we have a Boston guy, Connor, over there, believes the Celtics going to run away with it, but do you think the Warriors still have some fight left?
No, definitely. I've definitely been watching. It's part of it's like a fine line between like me being eager and me also just being super jealous. The competitiveness in me. Like I'm just pissed that I'm not there. And these
do you
guys
care who wins?
No, I don't care. I as soon as I lose, my care for the NBA season goes out the window. Like I'm just over it. It's one of those things where it's like after I've lifted the trophy and I've drinking the beer and the champagne and had the goggles on, like the only thing I want to do is do that again. And so every year I don't get to do it. It's a little part of me that just is like being tweaked and being pulled inside. But no, finals have been good so far. I just don't know. I don't know who's going to win, to be honest. I feel like Boston plays at a really high level and they do really good, but then they turn the ball over for a couple of minutes and then all of a sudden it's a game. I also don't think Draymond and Clay are going to play as bad as they have the first couple games. I don't think they're going to run away with it. If Boston wins Game 4, it's going to be tough for Golden State. But if any team can come back from 3-1 in the finals, it's probably going to be the guys that won 3 in 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, except for the hypocrite that's Klay Thompson, who made fun of LeBron for saying something similar to what he said about Boston just a few years ago. Yeah. I've turned on the Golden State team after what happened last night in Boston. I'm a big fan. This is not Alex Caruso's words. These are my words. That was some of the most bitch-made stuff I've ever seen in my entire life, especially if it wasn't Boston. If it wasn't like the most expected thing of all time in all sports since the beginning of time, I think I wouldn't have been there. Like, I wouldn't have had that big of a deal. But I love Steph. Used to love Clay.
Yeah.
Used to love Draymond.
Mm-hmm. Poole's cool.
Poole seems cool. He
jacked
up off from Hank a little bit.
There's that Dark Knight quote. What is it? It's like you
live long enough to become. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what it's becoming, isn't it?
What is it? You die a hero, live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Become the villain. Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Hey, Friday though. Friday in Boston is going to be.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be rowdy.
They are going to put on a show, and it's because there's just. I don't know, however many, 15,000 of these. Connor, your question for Alex Caruso?
Closer to 20,000, but yeah, it's going to be very rowdy on Friday because no one's going to have to, wake up in the morning and go to work. A lot of Dunkin' Donuts. Alex, one of the big storylines of the finals is the fact that the Warriors come out in the third quarter and, just dominate. I think under Steve Kerr, they're like plus 2,500 in the playoffs or something ridiculous like that. What the hell happens at halftime? Do they switch jerseys like you said and it's like a shooter jersey and all of a sudden they just hit everything? What are the halftime adjustments like?
People have been trying to figure that out for 10 years, man.
Well, tell me that.
If I knew the answer, I probably would have beat him a couple more times. I don't. There's just there's something about the competitive, competitiveness of champions like Draymond, Clay. They got Iggy, Steph. Obviously, like there's just something about it to where if you're that elite of a player, you can just flip it on and off. And sometimes, you go into halftime and you're like, all right, that was kind of bullshit, and like let me lock in. Like I've seen it with LeBron, AD. Like there's an elite crew where you can just kind of like they're like, all right, I'm gonna start trying. And so it's like that meme where the guy's sitting back in his chair and then he like leans forward and puts his like elbows on his knees and he's trying. Like sometimes that's just what it is.
How many threes will you make right now? You go shoot 50 of them on normal practice day whenever you go to that middle school gym right there.
Just catch and shoot? Where are we shooting from? Like 10 from 5 spots?
Yeah.
10 from 5 spots. I'd probably expect to make it like somewhere between 40 and 45.
Oh, yeah. That's so much fun, I bet. How much fun is that? That's a great time. You have a blast.
Yeah, well, when you get hot, I mean, as a shooter, when you get hot, it's just like I start talking shit out loud, just like to nobody, just to the air. I'm just like, I'm like asking the workout guys, is like, hey, they got another net in the back. Like, we're gonna need.
You like that with your golf game? Your golf game like that as well?
No.
81.
I do get a little hot. Like yesterday when I said I shot 81, I shot 38 on the back nine in the last like 8 holes. I was 1 under. Like I haven't had a stretch like that in probably like no, that's not normal. See, that's
yeah, but that's exactly what you do when you're shooting.
That's a good stretch.
I just said, like, do you do that? You're like, no, it never happens or whatever. That's a fucking great 8 holes there, pal.
Yeah, but the basketball thing, I could do that 7 days of the week. The golf thing, that's like 1 set of every month.
Well, we'll see next month in Tall Hill. Ton Diggs, your question for Alex Caruso.
Alex, speaking of getting hot, you've mentioned like Steph and Dame a few times.
Too many Italians. Sorry about it. No, I'm joking. He didn't deserve that. Neither did you. Go ahead, Tom. Sorry about that, Caruso.
And getting hot, like, and you obviously have to cover those guys. Is there a guy? Is it them? Like, who, if they get hot, you're just like, what am I gonna fucking do?
Yeah, there's probably 50 guys in the league that can do that, but there's a couple that like it doesn't matter what you do to start. Like, there's probably a handful of guys where it's like, all right, if you follow the game plan. And you keep them off of their strong hand or dominant hand, like which way they like to go. Keep them off their go-to moves. You can do a good job of them. There's certain guys in the league that like you have to show up, play hard as hell, follow the scouting report, and then hope that they don't have just like a good night. Like some nights I can go out there and play the best defense, follow the scouting report, coverage-wise, the bigs are up, they're doing everything they're supposed to do, and they're just gonna make tough shots. Like some guys are just going to do that and then they'll get their average. But if you show up and you kind of bullshit, then they're going to get 40. That's kind of where it lies. It's like if you show up and do your job, like they're going to get their average. Like the best 20 players in the league, you're not going to stop them from getting their 25, their 20, whatever it is. Like that's just going to happen. With the free throws, transition, they're going to score enough points. But if you don't show up to play, they're going to get 40 to 50.
Do you talk shit? Any shit talking? Who's the best at it?
No, not really, dude. After I did a lot in high school. I was a little shit in high school. I was talking shit to everybody.
Yeah.
College, it kind of waned out a little bit, but then there was, you got into some conference games on the road at Arkansas, Alabama, Auburn's worst. There's just some frat boys in the crowd talking shit. And you gotta let them know, hey, you're here to watch me. But then. Once I got to the league, I was like, I'm not going to make this any harder on myself than I have to, because there's some guys that you talk shit to them and they like wake up.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you want me to try? And then they like score 10 points in the rest of like the last 5 minutes of the quarter. So no, I got away from that I got away from that early in my professional career because I was like, all right, if my main thing is going to be defense to start, like I don't need to make this any harder on myself to make in the league than it already is.
Why do you think casual fans try to claim that NBA players don't play defense? I know I've only been to a few games and been down close, and all I ever thought the whole time was it would be absolutely impossible to score one bucket against you guys. Like how hard you play, how long everybody is, and the shots you guys hit are like the shots that we take on our driveway messing around that are impossible, and they're your guys' just normal, average, everyday shot.
Yeah, I mean, well, people don't realize, like, they watch the game on TV and it moves really slow on TV, right? You get courtside and you see how strong everybody is, how big everybody is, how fast they move. Like, these are some of the best athletes in the world. Like, we kind of forget about that when you see it on TV. You know, you almost cartoonize it a little bit to where it's like, all right, this isn't real life. Dude, these dudes are killers. Like, they're here for a reason. They pay them $30 million a year for a reason. They're not just out here just because. Like, and that's part of it too, is like, you can practice offense as much as you want in the off season, right? Like, I can go shoot 10,000 shots in 2 days or do whatever I got to do. I can only do so much to work on defense, right? Like, I'm not going to like call Steph and Dame and be like, hey dude, let me guard you for a couple days this week so I can get better.
It's effort,
they're
right?
Gonna be like, they're not, first of all, they're not going to answer. Second of all, they're going to be like, get out of my phone. It's just one of those things, man, where offense is always going to rule the world. You know, that's part of the reason why, you know, they change the foul rules every year. They try to make it more entertaining for fans. Like, people want to see offense. People don't want to see 2000s Pistons versus Spurs where it's 75 to 80.
Glove.
Yeah. Those games blow up.
Personally, I think there's an art to that, and I love watching it. But no, fans don't love that.
Are you staying out of the paint if Ja Morant has a, full run up and lead there? Because he said, and I quote, "I'm not scared to go up on anybody."
Mm-hmm.
He just goes up. It feels like he's a different player than anybody else, and he's kind of coming into his own. Why do you think that is? And is he a type of player that is like impossible to guard, you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain aspects of his game that it's just like, all right, once he gets to a certain, like, it's like Zion. They're two different bodies, but it's the same thing. It's like once they get to their launch pad, it's kind of over. Like, once they get to their spot and they're like either side by side or next to you, like, they're a better athlete than everybody else that they're guarding. They're just going to hang in the air, adjust, and then lay the ball in. And so that's one of the things where it's like, well, first of all, to answer your question, no, I'm not going to jump with him. Two, I'm probably going to be guarding him. So, like, if he gets by me, my teammate's going to be the one that's got to make the business decision if they're going to get up. So they just need to do some film and realize that's a bad idea. But, dude, there's certain guys in the league. This is my rule on trying to block shots or take a charge. I have to be there first. If I'm not there first, I'm not making a play. Because if you're not there first, if you're late to contest a shot and you're not a 7-footer that's like bouncy or Jared Allen or like JaVale McGee or Rudy Gobert, like, you're gonna lose that. You're gonna lose that altercation, and it's probably gonna end up on SportsCenter, Bleacher Report, House of Highlights. Like,
Omar's gonna get you.
He gonna get you.
Yeah.
Omar's gonna get you. I mean, that is 100% real. Last question here, and we can't thank you enough for joining us. Unless Zito's got one for him.
I got my moment in.
Yeah, Zito.
Fuck Grayson Allen.
Yeah, fuck. Hey, all right.
I love you, Zeke.
Thanks for your loyalty.
Hey, do your coaches want you to contest every dunk?
Yeah, well, I mean, of course they do, but sometimes it's better to just give them the 2 points than the and one, and let's just take the ball out of the net and go down and get it back the next time.
And guess what? They're going to score again, too, bro.
Yeah.
There's a chance they're going to score again.
They'll probably,
Points.
you give up 25 points a quarter, that's a good quarter.
That's amazing, isn't it? That's what you're going back to with everybody loves offense. Speaking of offense, a man who's just a triple-double machine if he was ever to play, and you mentioned his name there, Zion Williamson is the guy, right? You agree with that, obviously, is what it sounds like? Let's get him on the court.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And what are they talking about with this ramp-up phase? What is this thing? Have you heard about this before? You guys have to go 1-on-0, 1-on-1, then 2-on-1, then 2-on-2, then 3-on-2, then 3-on-3.
Well, not as many numbers, but yeah, it's essentially that. It's like 1-on-0 workouts to 1-on-1, and you might play like some half-court 2-on-2, half-court 3-on-3, and then eventually you get into 5-on-5 full court. But I mean, honestly, it's case by case. Like, he's a big dude. He puts a lot of weight on that foot, a lot of force when he jumps. You saw the clip of him bending the court in whatever gym they were in when he took off the dunk. Like, he's a freak, in the best way possible. He's like Giannis, where they're just physically gifted. And when you're he was number 1 pick, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so when you're the number 1 pick and you're coming off of an injury like that and you're supposed to be the franchise player for the next decade, they're going to do everything they can to make sure you're 100% before they put you back out on the court. Because if you get hurt again, now all of a sudden that year they just wasted their number 1 pick and they're just, back into it. That Pelicans team, though, if they got Zion back, they're gonna be a problem. You know, CJ McCollum's a killer. Bi's a killer.
Great on TV, CJ.
They got great young wings in Herbert Jones and the Murphy kid. I like the setup of that team a lot. You know, from a third party perspective.
Last question for me, and I don't know if AJ has one or not. Did you play hoops when you were in jail?
No, I didn't.
Nah, did you go out to the yard?
No, I didn't make it to the changing room or the cell. I just went straight to booking and then got out of there.
Well, congrats, me too. I mean, I had to sit in a cell there for about a couple hours, but what a moment for you there. That's nightmare going through airport, forgetting to check a pocket.
I'm never going back through College Station Airport again. My own people let me down. Be your own people, man.
The enemy's always within your own camp. We're happy that you joined our camp here today. You're the best, dude. Hopefully you'll come back sometime soon. Enjoy the off season. Hopefully you get on Spanish Oaks too. Hopefully they say your money's good here.
Yeah. If you need to make a call, I'll give you the number.
I'm not fucking. The golf people hate me.
Enforcer. You're the enforcer. That's what you do.
Well,
you got the bat. You got the.
Listen, if you see me with this in Tahoe, just know the fucking hammer time's coming. You hit the ball a long way, I assume, huh?
What's your? Yeah, I mean, when you go straight, yeah.
You shot an 81. You're 1 under through 8 holes. Shut the fuck up. You're a good golfer.
Okay.
Yeah, you're a good golfer. I don't need to hear it. You're a good golfer. That's what it sounds like.
I can be. On some good days, I can play golf.
Like Tahoe, you think you'll play well? AJ's a veteran at this thing. He thinks he's going to win it every single year. He hasn't yet.
Well, I know I'm not going to win it.
Maybe you go
put 3 good days together. You can.
There's dudes that are scratch golfers out there that are going to shoot like 3 under, 4 under, and like be hidden. I'm not worried about winning the thing. I just want to go positive. I want to have positive points.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
Drink some beer, have a good time.
Oh,
positive points.
You gonna be boozing a little bit out there?
What? Hey, it's the off season, right? I can't do it during the year, so.
I'll be boozing a little bit too.
What? Why?
I think we'll be College Station airporting too, maybe.
Why?
No, not you, obviously. Not you. No. Maybe me though. Maybe me if it's legal.
Yeah, we have no strikes left.
Hey, we appreciate you so much, man. Enjoy the off season. Enjoy the shoot around this afternoon.
I appreciate it, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Caruso. Very good at basketball.
Yeah.
Think about how much fun that has to be to walk into any pickup game. All right, I'm going to fucking probably score all 11 points in this game here if I wanted to on anybody in here.
It's like what JJ Redick said when he was just shooting around by himself and that one guy was talking shit to him.
Yeah, and his friends, right?
Yeah.
It was him and friends.
Yeah.
I beat every motherfucker 11 zip in that gym and then walked out of there. It's awesome.
Also, just assuming, like, from watching games, a guy probably 6'2", he's 6'5". You know, he walks around to the probably 6'6" with shoes on.
Huge.
Like,
monster.
Yeah.
That is so tall. 6'5" is so tall.
All basketball players, like you think, you see him on TV, oh, I got a 6'1", and he's 6'7", like stuff like that happen. And also, like, a lot of basketball players, their waist is like 22 inches around, and then there's giant shoulders, big arms.
Tatum.
They're all in great shape usually, too.
Tatum has become, Steph as well. Steph has become an absolute stallion. They talked about his conditioning, his cardio. But Tatum he's an hourglass.
Yeah, and like when you watch highlights from his first or second year, like compared to what he is now, he is fucking yoked.
LeBron has transformed his body too completely.
Oh yeah, twice.
I'm excited to see what Zion does.
Yeah.
He's going to have to, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be the one to say it because we're big Zion guys,
Yeah.
but I think he's going to have to do that.
Yeah, his rookie year though, even when they showed like from like photo day or whatever, he was fucking shredded up too.
LeBron was also yoked, but he slimmed down.
Need to stay shredded and slim down.
That's a long season, dude.
Well, Miami's like real strict on. I think in Miami, it was Spoelstra and Pat Rowe. They like test their body fat daily, like hydration. Like they're dead serious on all this.
That's the discipline that it takes to play 82 games at a high cardio. I mean, that is. I don't think I could do it.
So much running.
So much running.
Like Kawhi Leonard, he never really went like the big route. He's just always just been like kind of a physical freak
with hands that are size of this piece of paper.
Massive.
Toilet paper or toilet seat hands. All right, big shout out to Caruso, Rapoport, Rupper for joining us. There's a hockey game tonight.
Let's go.
We're betting on Tampa, I believe. Is
Go
what,
Bolts.
Go Bolts.
Is what Rupp told us. AJ, we'll see you tomorrow, pal.
Tomorrow I told you, but I got to go to the golf thing, my first event of the year.
You son of a bitch.
Come on.
I know. Believe me, I told you this a couple weeks ago.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I'm sure I remember. I'm sure I'm putting exact dates on when you have to go to your little cult party.
Fuck.
So I'm telling you right here.
Is this going to be your first round of the year?
Yeah, but it's a scramble, but I'm sure I'll be striping it.
Okay.
Good luck out there, pal. We appreciate you. We'll see you on Monday. To the boys, you guys were great. Hammer Dahn is next at youtube.com/Hammer Dahn. Can't wait to chat with you tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Bye.